Sam Watson and his team, we're going to stand together and fight this disease. I come this way before, travel through open door. Circumstances navigate the path, and life happens all so fast. No, we got lonely sometimes. You see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me. Cause I know my took help. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a quick and no rehearsal. You quickly tell something yo-yo. Games we play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. It's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do. Fight for me, I'm going to see the blessing in it. From much expecting, much is given. When I make the living, now I'm giving back to shooting. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine on that and get real. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of you. No backing down. We're bringing it to life. For the children, it's a given. Gotta give it, be a blessing. It's my personal statement. Run the game like I'm acing. Learn and develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Tapping in competition, rapping against the rope. She fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lacking. My parents are slow on our road. I'm confident we'll make it. Focus on common goals. Yeah, give back, give love, anything so to never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'll go back soon and fight this final round. Life's a quick and no soul. You quickly tell something yo-yo. Can't get back, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. It's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do.
Hey. Oh shit.
I'm gonna stand on the ground. Get to those in me.
Okay.
So we're gonna win this battle. Fight that disease.
Hey, we made it now. I had to adjust the settings, man. What up? What up, DV? What up, Aaron Chambers? Welcome back. Where are you? Oh, no, you're a hater. Okay, that's cool. What up, BJ, Donald, Rob? What's up, Phil? Dream Cooking, Phil, 65-year-old G, man. Eric Jenkins, stay ready. What's good? What's good? What's good? I heard you over there talking about arming yourselves and all that good stuff. What up, 65-year-old G, DB? Go subscribe to Stay Ready Boxing. That's what it is, Eric. That's what it is, man. Andrew, Charles, Rob, Eric. Hey, happy Tupac Day. Happy Tupac Day, y'all, man. I figured I'll come in here early. Greer screwed up. He lost. He ended up losing. I never really thought he was that good. He's just an in-shape guy. You know what I mean? That's great at marketing. I'm not sure if he ended up losing tonight. You know what I mean? He should have fought on the inside because the guy was the guy was letting him come in on the inside, but he just refused. I watched the first couple of rounds and I thought he was acting like Sean Porter against Ugas. I thought it was just too much. You know what I mean? I just thought it was too, he was doing way too much, man. You know what I mean? Stay Ready Boxing. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Stay Ready Boxing, home. Stay ready. Stay ready. And that sounds like a great channel to go to in these times. Stay ready. You know what I mean? Stay Ready TV. That's what it do. He got dropped twice. Yeah, he always get knocked down. You know what I mean? He always get knocked down. Typically get knocked down. He from Chicago, man. He a tough kid though. He always comes in shape, but the talent ain't there for that division, man. You know, I mean, you got to be a great boxer at them 120s and 26s and 22s and 18s, and you got to be prepared to throw 100 punches around. You know, I mean, you got to be a skilled son of a biscuit, man, in them lower weight classes. You got to A level, you got to be skilled. I mean, the worst you can be right now in those weight classes is Nonito Donaire, and he's on the fringe of being a world champion. You know what I mean? Once you get past like the top 5 or so like that, them lower weight classes are, man, you gotta be a special kid, man. You know what I mean? Man, yeah, man. So I appreciate everybody coming in, man. Breadman to be in here shortly. I just spoke to him about 2 hours ago. He'll be in here shortly. And but welcome to the show, man. It's Tupac Day, man. Did everybody see that meme, dog, with that little kid hiding behind the and I've been thinking about that shit all day, dog. All day. That shit had me in a binge, man, all day. I've been thinking about that kid all day. You know what I mean? That may be the image that stains my brain, you know, outside of the killings, obviously. That moment right there. Since I was, because you guys know basketball was my first love. So, you know what I mean? And then came boxing. Well, basketball, then came pussy, and then came boxing. It was in that exact order. So oh man. So yeah, man. And we got this we got this Kyrie stuff brewing, dog. Kyrie said, let's form our own league. Let's form our own league. How about we form our own political party? You know what I mean? Breadman, you're not in, but no, you're not in. You're in Philly though. No, the other link. The click on the not my link, but the other link, the StreamYard link. It's gonna bring you right in. You want a YouTube link. Man, you got, man, these old dudes, man. These old dudes, man, ain't technically sound, man. Man, they could be the greatest trainers in the world, man. You tell them to pick up their phone and click a link, the motherfuckers be like, huh? Wireless? You mean you ain't got to plug the computer in for dial up? Click the StreamYard link and we'll be Gucci, and we'll be good as gold. So he's halfway here, and I appreciate him offering his Tuesday night, Wednesday morning with us, man. He's gonna spend as much time as he wants, and then we'll get out. I'm gonna open up the phone lines early because I can talk to him anytime. So the questions has already been answered about JROC, and we'll just go over Dylan Price and all that stuff, and I know you guys may have some questions for him, and then we'll just jump into it. All right, don't be shy now. Don't be, y'all been shy lately, dog. I don't know what's been going on with y'all. Y'all been rather shy. Yeah, DB. I ain't gonna even lie. You know what I mean? I was ditching when I went to Horace Mann. You know what I mean? I was ditching. You know that alleyway? You know that alleyway between Florence and 71st? Hey, oh man. You know what I mean? They dead ended it. It has a church there now. You know what I mean? And I can't say that. But yeah, it's so he's working his magic. He'll be in here shortly. But yeah, man, it's just man. You know what else I was thinking about too? The emotional trauma. Let me resend this to him. The emotional trauma that let me send this one right here. Okay, cool. There you go. I just resent it to him. The emotional trauma that we're going to have. I'm open up the phone lines in a second, DB, because he's beaming in literally right now. I just sent it to him. So I'll open up the phone lines in about 20 minutes, and y'all can just go off and do what y'all do. All right. And Yeah, man, it's Tupac's birthday today, man. I honestly believe, appreciate you. I honestly believe me and Tupac would have been some type of friends. You know what I mean? I don't know on what level. You know what I mean? Because I know he was a big fight fan, and I know he would have been at Deontay Wilder, and he would have walked Deontay Wilder out at multiple fights, and he and I would have been great friends, man. We would have been fighting this fight together. You know what I mean? Especially now. And believe it or not, it probably would have came sooner. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, Breadman wrote for quite a few publications. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully he got it now. So yeah, man. So yeah, it's Tupac's birthday, man, and we doing it BIG, man. So what's y'all favorite Tupac song, by the way? Just drop it in. I'll tell you what song I actually hated by Tupac. The one with Casey and JoJo. I hated that song. I don't know why. I hated that fucking song. Hated it, dog. Didn't like it at all. You know what I mean? Boom, boom, shed so many tears. Boom, boom, boom. California Love, Tupac, Pain, Best Right Above the Rim. Yeah, that shit was high. I feel death around the corner. Yeah, that shit. Soldier Story. Straight Wall Story. Yeah. 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 So how do you want? I hated that song. I don't know why I didn't like that song. I just didn't like it. That's the only Tupac song that I can say I skip it every time on All Eyes on Me. Right? All Eyes on Me? Yeah. I did. I never liked it. I mean, I danced to it in the club because that's what the women did. You understand what I'm saying? When we had our college parties and shit. But you know what I mean? But I didn't care for that song. Straight balling, that shit went hard. Woo-hoo. Straight balling off that thug like, oh my god. Yeah, that shit was a classic, man. I'm gonna bring my college roommate in, and Casey and JoJo had to fix it because Pac tried. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm gonna bring my college roommate in my freshman year. We reconnected about 2 weeks ago. Thank God for social media, dog. You know what I mean? We reconnected, and you know what I mean? We went through some traumatic shit. We went through some traumatic shit together. You know what I mean? Like in 1 year, we had some traumatic shit. So if I bring them on, it's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, man, I don't want to bring you on, man. We gonna be crying the whole fucking show, and niggas not. Oh man, cradle to the grave. Yeah, yeah. So oh man. Oh man, see if he good. He should beam right in. You can go through your laptop, Breadman, or you can go through your phone. If you can hear me, toss it up. That intro to toss it up. Lord have mercy, Father, help us all. Mercy, I can't help but call. Ooh, curious for thug passion. Greer crying. I mean, he knows this could be it. You know what I mean? But he's just 3 fights away from getting another title shot. You know what I mean? He just a couple. He got to make adjustments. He may need to add some stuff to his camp. Maybe he need to add Breadman. You know, someone like Breadman or Derek James, Kevin Cunningham, something like that. Who does a lot of isolated work shit. You know what I mean? Like punch here. You know what I mean? Like land here. Like intently. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? So straight balling was a classic. And the reason why I brought that up is because my college roommate introduced me to a lot of music. You know what I mean? Like I was just a East Coast, West Coast guy. I didn't know shit about the middle of the world. I mean, the middle of America. Atlanta. I mean, obviously JD was hot then and there, but I mean, like in the South, nah, I didn't know nothing about uh MJG and 8 Ball. I didn't know nothing about them. You know what I mean? I might have heard their hits, you know what I mean? But in terms of wanting to play their CD, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just didn't man, see this. He old, man. He typing right now. Give me a second. These old motherfuckers, man. Shed so many tears. When thugs cry, man. Oh, just call in. We'll just call in. Keep clicking it, but it's streaming, but that's it. I think you gotta type when it tells you to add. Let me tell him right now. Yeah, man. So I'm just giving them directions on how to get in. Yeah, man. Today was a good day for me, man. Outside of the reality, you know what I mean? It's just a had a good day. So you guys want to hear a cool story? You guys want to hear a cool story? So I'm doing some business deal, right? Check this shit out. Check this shit out. I'm doing a business deal, and I go to Commerce, right? Commerce in LA is like where all the manufacturing take place. You know what I mean? So like it's a big industrial area in the city of Commerce. Hit it, Commerce, city of Commerce. And so I go into the office and some business are being transacted. And I look on the wall and I'm like, that shit looks so familiar. What is that? Right? I see a W. I'm like, nah, that ain't Wilder. I'm in Commerce. That ain't Deontay Wilder. Is that my dumb ass? Like, is that Canelo? What am I? Because I'm in Commerce, right? So after Commerce, it's like Latino, right? So you guys know it's like Latino, Los Angeles. So I'm like, what Mexican fighter has that logo? And I'm like, Canelo, Jojo Diaz, because I know he trains out at South El Monte Community Center. And I'm like, Leo Santa Cruz. I'm like, I'm looking all, it's like racking my brain. You know what I mean? I'm like, hold up. Is that Deontay Wilder? They like, yeah, Deontay Wilder, the heavyweight champion. So coincidentally, me and Deontay Wilder, we're going to get our manufacturing done in the same place. You know what I mean? How funny is that shit? Small fucking world, dog. Small fucking world, man. So yeah, man. So they had as the DW logo and shit. I said, this is a small fucking world, dog. Insane. So man, we just gonna have to do a call in with Breadman. Breadman is having. Just call in. We'll have. Okay, the phone is linked up. We'll just do a call in, and you guys just can ask questions. 96 big body sitting on chrome. Isn't that crazy, Lion Platinum? I can't wait to tell D. Well, he knows now, but I sent it to his team. That shit was funny. I was sitting there like, how the fuck is this? How random is this? You know what I mean? So, and I was telling them how their merchandise was in New York, and they sold out. They sold out before the Fury fight. All of Deontay Wilder stuff, it literally sold out. So, appreciate you, Terrence Bailey. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, big dog. You know what I mean? The descendants of the Douglas family, Frederick Douglass, excuse me. And this oh my god. Oh man. The most amazing thing is, I know I'm just shifting gears and going all over the place. The trainers have the darndest time logging into this shit. Everybody else, oh, they just beam right in. Yeah, I mean, man, just call me, Brad, man. I'll be you. Just call me, man. Just call me. We'll go live that way. You can just call in, and we're good. Call in, and we'll be good. And he figured it out right now. Remember Kendall? Kendall had to call upstairs. For he had to call 1-800 upstairs for support. Remember that shit? Oh man. I'm up before the sunrise, first to hit the block. Yeah, man. Yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button too on the way in. You know, I mean, the channel's doing good, man. You making shrimp and bacon Alfredo? Mm. Hey, TB, do you like soft bacon or crispy bacon? Some people like soggy bacon. You know what I mean? Some people like soggy bacon. I like crispy bacon when I eat it. I forgot what bacon tastes like. I know what it smells like though. You'll never get that smell out of your nostrils, man. You'll never get the smell of bacon out of your nostrils. I ain't had bacon in such a long time. But that sounds good. Bacon is like ranch. It just goes on everything, right? Oh man, bacon is for devils. No pork on my fork. No pork on my fork, homie. No pork on my fork. You know, niggas from New York with the Timberlands on that been in jail for like 7 years. They always come out saying, "I don't eat that shit." I don't eat that shit, dog. I don't eat that shit. Hey, Reg. Oh shit. Oh shit! We got without further ado back to the berries, the sweeter the juice. I said Breadman's in the building and the deeper the roots. What's up, big homie?
What's up, man? It wouldn't work on my phone, man.
Did you? Hey,
Hey, Fred, listen, man, you gotta be patient with me, man. I'm a little bit of a dinosaur when it comes down to computers and stuff, bro. You know, it's 12 o'clock out here. You my man. I stayed up for
thank you,
man.
dog. I appreciate that.
My phone was acting crazy. No bullshit, man.
Hey, I was like, Kendall Gill had to call 1-800 upstairs for his wife. So I was like, I bet Breadman needed some help.
Oh man, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you coming in, man. So what's been up? COVID, we got everything going on. You've been active on your social media.
Man, I just been just sucking in the world, man. Just trying to become a better person, Fred. Really, man. I've been meditating a lot, spending a lot of time with my children. You know, my kids play football, basketball, and track season is coming up for my daughter, man. She finished number 5 in the country in the AAU Junior Olympics last year. So it gave me some time just to spend time with them. And, you know, just doing some stuff, man. Monday was my first day back in the gym, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. First day back in the gym, man. I went back in there with the little Spanish kid that you met, Romeo Cruz.
Yeah,
it was my first day back in the gym. So that's just that, man. You know, just it's nothing you can really get used to. I mean, in our lifetime, we've never seen anything like this, man.
No, it's nothing I can compare it to, man.
It's something else, man. You know, I don't know if I was right or wrong, but I let my kids see the George Floyd thing. Man, my daughter was crying, and I try to, you know how like when we watch fights, right?
Yes.
I know you get this all the time. People say, "Well, rescore the fight." But I think that that's like a flawed concept because whoever you subconsciously want to win, you'll start finding rounds for that guy if you know what already happened and you like your initial impression of what happened is the most accurate thing.
Sure.
And when I saw when I let my daughter and my son see the George Floyd thing, they're 8 and 9. They were both screaming like, "What do you do? Get off of him!" And I was just like, "Damn!" You know, my wife was like, "Damn, I don't know if you should have." You know, because my daughter got like a little squeamish, and I was just like, I don't know if I should have either, but you know, I guess as a parent, it was just my call. I just kind of I still don't know if I should have let them see it, but it was just like, it was crazy. They heard me on the phone. Like one girl was like, "I can't pay the rent because I can't get to the check cashing place." And I was just like, "Well, I won't charge you a late fee, but you know, you got to find somewhere. I can't, you know, can't go rent free. You know, it's interesting times, man. You know, just got
it's
it
beyond
really is.
interesting. I still have yet to watch it, and my son is 5, and I battle with that every day.
Yeah, man.
When do I begin these conversations?
How old are your children?
5 and 2.
Oh, see, mine's are 8 and 9.
Yeah, I think that's a great age because
you
got to walk to the bus. You know,
it's
walk
like
to the bus stop.
it's kind of, I don't know, man. It was like, I still don't know if I did the right thing. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like it was just, I don't know. As a parent, we always getting better. You know, as time go on, I'll figure out if I did the right thing or not. You know what I mean? And it's just been a lot going on, man. You know, they saw the people camping out. So my daughter was actually like, where do they sleep, Dad? What are they doing? And all this kind of, and I'm like, I'm trying to answer the best I can. How do they go to the bathroom? How do they wipe their butts? And she was asking like, you know, logical questions. You know, it may sound stupid, but it's not. You know what I mean? It was just, it's crazy here, man. I know it's quite crazy out LA, but it's nuts here, man. I take them downtown to like see different stuff, and you know, we've been training, you know, because they haven't been able to have practice because of the social distancing. I just found out they're having a summer Olympics, so we was in the city training at these hills, and I took them down to get some breakfast, and they saw all of the Black Lives Matter people on going into the art museum, and they would just sleep outside on tents, and they was just like, what's going on? Like, you know, and my kids I try to take them and see as much inner city stuff as I can, you know.
I remember you told me when we were driving around, you told me this exact same thing.
Yeah, I try to do that for them, and it was just like, it was kind of like deep to them. They was just looking like, damn, really? And I said, this is all because of the guy y'all saw on TV. And they was like, wow. You know, and my son was like, you know, I hope that cop goes to jail. You know, and my daughter was just kind of just like in shock. So I don't know, man. It's just some deep times, man. You know,
no, it definitely is, and I don't have an answer for that, man. I don't know when I take my son's. You about to make me cry, man. I don't know when I take my son's optimism away. You know, like
because you kind of strip them away the innocence when they
the innocence, man.
Yeah, man, you really do. You got to be like. It's just, you definitely, cause and I'm still torn because my kids still close their eyes when they see people kiss on TV. Yeah, like they can't watch certain TV shows with me. My kids are everybody thinks that their kids are like the best, but my kids are like innocent in a certain kind of way. They don't like know what certain like slang curse words is and stuff that I knew when I was a kid, and it's just a different times, man. Like, you know, Ding Dong Dixie, you ring on people's doorbell and run. They don't know about all that kind of stuff. You know, so it's just, I don't know, man. And I definitely think I stripped their innocence a little bit when they seen the George Floyd, because that's the first thing like that they've ever seen. Like, I wouldn't let them see Tamir Rice or anything like that. That's too much. But I've let them see George Floyd, and their initial reaction was just like, it was deep. It really was, man. So. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's funny how you said you take them to the city to experience it, and it's crazy how environment plays such a huge role in that, because you're a blessed man financially, and so the normalcies that maybe you had as a child, and definitely as I had in a child, is not their normalcies. You understand? My kids don't go by graffiti every other block or every block. They don't hear sirens every day in every block. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know how to integrate that in my kids. I've only been a father 5 years, going into 6.
Yeah, I've only been 9, man. You know, let me tell you what's funny. Julie used to say, man, I didn't even think you could have kids. But now I was like, why? And he was like, man, you like 34. I'm 44 now. So at the time, he's like, you like 34, you don't have no kids. I'm like, man, that's like, what's wrong with you, man? I don't want to have 7 baby moms, man. I'm trying to keep my money in my pocket.
Facts.
But you know, so you're right. Like, you just get better as you learn, man. I just noticed it's different between a boy and a girl. Like, my daughter's a little bit squeamish. My son, like, you know, he's cool. Like, we see homeless people, he like gets on the subway, he's cool. I ain't gonna say he a gangster, but he not like a squeamish little guy. But my daughter's like grabbing me and stuff, and she don't want no parts of it. It kind of like make her nerves a little bit bad. So you know, it's different. You know, I treat them both individually, but I don't know, man. I've been talking to them about this, because some cases I kind of detox from social media. I don't really see everything that everybody else see, Fred. I stay out of the comment section. I stay out. That stuff will lower your self-esteem and kind of like black your mind. But you know, the George Floyd case, it just, it just did something to me, man. You know, only maybe like 3 or 4 cases have done me like that. You know, Trayvon Martin did.
Oh, Trayvon. Oh.
Tamir Rice did. You know, and George Floyd did, and Philando Castile did, but for a different reason, and Sandra Bland did for a different reason. Those cases have it's like it like tingles my conscience a little bit. It do something to me where it just like it kind of like no matter how many times I watch it, and I can't watch George Floyd case often. I've only watched it maybe twice, but it kind of like I can't really articulate it, but it like every time I watch it, I'm like screaming, trying to change what happened. Even though I know the outcome, I'm like, you know what I mean? And the Philando Castile case did that to me because I could see where that was going, and I could see he was just trying to show him his wallet, you know, and just talk to him. And you know, the guy kind of put on the act of hurry up, you know.
And he was nervous.
Don't move, you know. And I could see Philando kind of like his senses was a little bit off. He didn't see what the guy was doing to him. You know, in the Sandra Bland case, you know, I saw he was trying to bait that young lady. That car stop was over with. You know, he could have just let her go. As you can see, I memorized these cases verbatim, and that car stop was over, and he was baiting that young lady, and she was like a high strung young lady. She had a you know,
her YouTube channel was deep.
You know, she was proud, you know what I mean? And because that happened to me last year, where you know I was like cleaning out a property that I was selling, and I was just like riding around the block, man. It's therapeutic for me to be in my car. I don't talk on my phone often in my house. You know, I don't want everybody listening to me. So I'm in my car talking on the phone, just riding around the block, like looking at properties. And the cop had stopped me and was like, "Why did you ride around the block 3 times?" And I'm like, I'm just going to the dollar store to get some stuff to clean out my property, but I didn't riding around the block is not breaking the law. So he got my license and registration. It was pretty much over with. You know, I was compliant, and he said, "Well, what's wrong?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Well, what's wrong? You seem nervous." And I said, "Well, it doesn't matter if I seem nervous or not. I comply with what you want. I gave you my license, I gave you my registration, I gave you my insurance." So then he was like, but you just, you know, I said, listen, I said, man, listen, I don't want no trouble. I don't know you. I don't want you to hurt me, and I don't want to hurt you. It doesn't matter if I like that you stop me. What matters is I'm giving you what you want. I said, you're trying to get something out of me. And I know where you're trying to go with this, man. I said, but I'm not going to give you that, man. You know, I'm old enough to be your father. You know, I said, you're about 25, 26 years old. I said, don't do that, man. You know, because I know some officers, and you know, it's just not gonna be a good thing, man. You trying to get a bait out of me. I'm not breaking the law, man. You trying to bait me into a situation that's just that I'm not looking for. You know, I'm not. You can see I got cleaning stuff in the back of my car, man. I'm not breaking no law. You know, and he asked me to get out the car. I have a license to carry. You know, and it just became a bigger deal than what it had to be. And I kept thinking about the Sandra Bland case where everything was over with, and he wanted to keep asking her what's wrong, and you know, and I made sure that I consciously handled it in a way where I didn't like blow up, where she kind of got excited, and you know, and I was real conscious of that because I did have a gun in the car, you know, and I didn't want the guy to kill me, you know, and then try to, you know, put the pieces together afterwards. And I, you know, and after everything was over, you know, I pulled him to the side in front of one of the guys that came for backup, man. And I said, man, you know, it's some dudes on the corner about 3 blocks down from here. They give you all the action you want, man. It's easy to pick on a guy like me that you know not breaking the law, and you want to come and ask me what's wrong and this, that, and the other and all. And you can see I got mops and Windex and stuff in the back of my car, man. I said, don't do that, man, because that's being an opportunist. That's being like a bully. You know, because you can see that I'm not out here for that. You know, you can tell.
Yeah.
And he was like, that wasn't. I said, yes, it was. I said, you wanted some action. I said, I get it. I understand it. Testosterone is boiling, man. But don't be no bully, man. I'm not. You know, I'm cleaning my house out. I'm selling this house, man. I'm not out here trying to break no laws. I understand you got a job to do, man, and I ain't trying to make your job difficult. But what you did was you was trying to get something out of me that wasn't there. You know, you tried to escalate this situation and turn this into something. I said, I've been around too long, man. You can't bait me with nothing like that, man. And sometimes I wish when I see these cases, I could talk to the victim in the cases, and like, you know, because me and my mom, we verbally spar over this stuff, man.
Sure.
And you know, and she'll call me up and she'll be like, "Do you think that guy's gonna get off?" And I'll be like, unfortunately, yes, or unfortunately, no. You know, in the Tyre Rice case, I'm like, Mom, they're gonna let that guy get off because he's going to say he didn't know what that gun was. I said, and just by the letter of the law, I said, because he is an animal and he's an opportunist, but he's going to say he didn't know what that kid had, and he's going to get off for shooting him, when what he should have did was park about 50 feet away from the kid, took cover, walked over to the kid, ascertained whether it was a real gun or not, took the gun, popped the kid in the butt, took him home and tell him don't be outside playing with a gun. But instead, he pulls up on him 10 feet away from him, jumps out the car and blows the kid brains out and says, I didn't know whether it was a real gun or not, despite the radio call saying that it's probably a toy gun. So what he did was he manipulated the situation so he could kill somebody. You know, and my mom was upset with me because I was trying to explain to her. But you know how, like, my mom was born in the 50s, Fred. So her mindset is just different, you know. And I was like, Mom, I'm not saying it was right. I'm just telling you what he's going to say. And by the letter of the law, he's going to say, how would I know whether it was a toy gun or not? And nobody's going to be able to fight that, you know. So when I see these cases, man, it does something to me internally. You know, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to ramble, man, because
we're having a great conversation. They loving you in the chat, and
it gets me upset, man.
You know what's scary about that is the moment these things happen, I think 50,000 feet outside of my pain, like, these motherfuckers gonna get off. I've seen this so many times. They gonna get off.
You know, Fred, every case they don't get off, because I think that, you know, you got a bigger platform than I do. I think we got to bring some awareness. Remember the kid in Florida, I believe he was in the gas station with his buddies. And he was playing music. That guy went to jail.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I saw the special, and he got a really educated mom.
The white guy who came up to him, right?
Yeah. And he told the guy to shut the F up, and they got into an argument. It was just over music, and then the guy pulled off after he shot in the car. He went to jail for about 60 years. So I think that sometimes the cases get lost after they happen. The sensationalism gets lost, and nobody follows the outcome. But sometimes some guys do go to jail. Unfortunately, you got guys like George Zimmerman out here mocking everybody. That kind of sickens me. You know, I hope I don't ever see him. I really do. I don't ever want to meet George Zimmerman, you know, but sometimes the guys do go to jail. So, you know, you got to be optimistic. You know, I personally think that Derek Chauvin, I believe his name is, I believe he's going to go to jail. You know, I know people have argued with me and said that he's not, but I really, really do. Fred, I actually had a fight out in Minnesota. Karan Davis fought there last year. You know, so I keep in touch with a couple people out there, and I heard that he already tried to plead guilty, and he just didn't.
Yeah, they tried a plea deal. They tried.
So I really do believe that with the social climate and everything is going on, I believe that, you know, we're going to get a victory in that case. Now, how much time he's going to do, I don't know. I think the maximum is 40 years, but I'm really confident and optimistic that he's going to go to jail. And I hope that, you know, that you guys, you know, you're doing a great job. You can use your platform, you know, when he does go to jail. You know, some cases are harder to tell, but I think that one is, you know, 9 minutes is just rough, man.
God, dog. I mean, like, that's 3 rounds.
Yeah, I know. 3 rounds, man. Yep. And I heard that the officers there, are going against him. I heard that you can hear them on saying, look, let's turn them on his side. And they were like younger, more inexperienced officers. And he kind of like took over. So I think it's going to be like a all on him kind of deal, which is good. You know, sometimes you got to compromise. You got to take something to give some, you know. So I don't know if the 2 young officers are going to get any time, but I think Chauvin will.
Yeah, I don't think the Asian guy is going to get time.
You know what? I disagree with that. I think
let's go. Tell me why.
I think he is because of the aiding and abetting. I think that he is, because he was like blocking the people on camera. He had 10 years on the job. You know, people don't want to hear this, but how much experience you have on the job is going to play a factor. The other two guys were cold, fresh rookies. They were green. They were on the back of him, and you really couldn't see them. But I think the Asian guy who was blocking everybody, who's his brother-in-law, which is going to kind of tie into this, I think he's going to get some time. I think the two rookies that was on the back of him, I think that they're going to turn against them. And you hear one of them say, from what a pretty good source is saying, let's turn him on his side. And Chauvin is like taking over as the senior officer, like no, and grinding his knee in his neck. So I think that that's going to kind of alleviate him of some culpability. You know what I mean? Now, me, I'm an optimist, so you know I'm wishing for that. But from my sources, I think that those two, I think that the Asian guy and Chauvin are going to do some time.
Yeah, the reason why is because I was listening to the lawyer speak yesterday, and she was saying that he can say he has a job to do. He can lean on the technicalities of his job. One guy apprehends, the other guy secures the location. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what I was thinking. You know,
well, you know what? Listen, whenever I see these cases, I always think of what the excuse is going to be. You know, I think that the attorney general is a pretty sharp guy. I heard him talk. So, I mean, listen, you know, he knows what he's up against. So I think we got to have some kind of confidence, man. You know, we got to have confidence in him to get the job done. Yeah, you know, he charged him. He upgraded the charges. He seems to be a sharp guy. So I think that we got to have confidence that he's going to get the job done and do what he has to do.
Okay. What do you think happens on the other side of the coin with America?
That's another reason why I think he has to go to jail, because I don't think the country can afford to endure what's going to happen if he gets off.
Man,
we can't have what happened. I mean, I'm telling you, Philly was bad, man. I got a lot of relatives where they looted at, you know, and like they still can't get their medicine because the drugstores were looted. You know, they can't get their medicine. You know, and sometimes people get dismissive of that, like, well, just order online. Let me tell you something, Fred. It took me 10 minutes to get in here. My aunts and uncles, they don't know how to order meds online. You know, and they can't. It's like they just it can't. And that's just where I live at. Imagine they just can't endure. Derek Chauvin has to be made an example out of. He has to. So I believe that he is going to go to. I believe that this is one case where it's no real gray area, and I believe he has to go to jail. And I know that, you know, somebody may say Rodney King, and you know, I know you from LA. I actually had a cousin who was killed in the riots out there.
Really?
Yeah. Edward Woods. My grandmom got the letter at her house, and yep. He got killed in the riots out there. So I know that Rodney King looked obvious too. So, you know, it has been some cases where it's looking like this guy has to go to jail and it doesn't happen. But I think that with the civil unrest, and I think that it's something about George Floyd is going to be a martyr. This guy, it's something about his case where I think that, you know, is finally going to come through, and he's going to, you know, everything is justice will be served in this particular case.
How about Georgia? Because all these trials are going to run concurrent. So I think
I'm not familiar with Georgia.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? See, it's a shame. It's been so many.
Yeah, that is awful.
Yes, I think they're gonna go to jail too. George Floyd kind of took over Ahmaud Arbery's you know, like I don't even know what good word to use. The awareness of the attention from Ahmaud Arbery went to George Floyd. But yes, I think they're gonna go to jail too. Yep, I do. It was another case that, and man, it's been so many.
Breonna Taylor, the girl with the warrant.
They
gotta arrest them first.
Well, the thing in that case is, even if it was a mistake, they tried to lie and make it seem like that her boyfriend shot her. So that's the part that's bad about that particular case. You know, you can get a mistake, I guess, on the warrant if somebody types it up the wrong way, like you get the wrong mail, but you can't say that the other, you know, somebody else shot her. So the cover up is the issue with that case. The harder case to prosecute is going to be the young man in the Wendy's drive-through. That's going to be a tough one to prosecute. You know,
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, man. I feel bad for that young man. I think they caught him when he was probably had a little too much to drink. That's a little different from George Floyd. You know, that's going to be a tough one to prosecute. I'm put it this way. I'm glad that the fate of the nation is not on that case, because I don't have the same confidence that those officers will be prosecuted as I do that the officers in the George Floyd case will be prosecuted, if you understand what I'm saying.
Now you're making a whole lot of sense. And based off of what I know in the previous cases, the hundreds of cases that I've seen prior to what happened Saturday, it's clear he's a threat. He turned around. And mind you guys, I'm speaking from a practical standpoint, not from what Fred is advocating for. He turns around and he shoots, and he can say, I don't know who shot him, the lead or the trail officer, but they can say he was a threat. You understand? He was literally 4 feet away from I don't know how the distance, but you know
what? I saw the video. Did he shoot one with the taser?
He shot the one with the taser, landed on the victim.
Okay, so he didn't, because I thought he took the taser from him.
Yeah, he took the taser and they were tumbling.
Yeah,
got up and ran away.
That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough for that for that young man and his family. I feel bad because I don't think he was out doing any. You know, he just was a little drunk and went to sleep. You know, I've done it. You know what I mean? I've done it before. You know, where I couldn't drive but I'm. You know, I got a higher sense of awareness, Fred. When I'm in the car, man, and I get stopped by the police and they ask me for my my license and registration and stuff like that, the first thing I say is, officer, would you mind getting it? Because I don't want to move, because I don't want you to think I'm trying to do something to you. Because my wallet is black and my phone is black. I don't want any problems. So you get my license and registration. I'll point to where it's at. So I'll try to eliminate any excuse to blow my brains out, man. I really do. You know, so I just feel bad for that young man, because I could see that that's one of those gray area type of cases where it's just going to be tough, man.
Yeah, it's going. Do you think we get some type of reform? I know Donald Trump, he brought in today about the police reform. It's illegal to do choking. What do you think? What happens beyond that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't. I think we gotta take baby steps, Fred. And I think that we need you know, smart guys, like sort of as lieutenants. And I think we need somebody, a figurehead that's higher than guys like me or you, to kind of be able to speak with a little bit of common sense. And your kid is 5, my kids are 8 and 9. So when they get our age, things are a little, I don't believe in drastic change. I think drastic change is unnatural. I think that you have to have small increments of change. So when people say social reform, I don't know if anything in life ever changes to a big degree, it always throws off the energy of whatever you're doing. Even in boxing, I'll give you an example. If you see a guy that's a mediocre talent in 2020, and then in 2021, he's Roy Jones, something's not right about that. And I feel the same way about changes. I think they have to be in small increments. So, you know, I don't know. I'm not well versed enough in that, but I know I'm from Philadelphia, and there was a mayor and a police commissioner here by the name of Frank Rizzo.
Oh,
and if you're not from Philadelphia, you don't realize the significance of that. But if you are from Philadelphia, then you understand what the significance is, you know. So you literally have to be from here. I remember when Frank Rizzo passed away, and my brother, he had a big mouth, and we were outside playing as kids, and the cops came up on us and, you know, roughed us up a little bit. And my brother was like, y'all mad because Frank Rizzo died? They chased us. We were running. They chased us, man. They was going to beat the shit out of us. Man, we were flying down the street, man. And, you know, he's just, you know, a lot of people don't realize that this is unfortunate. You know, the thing between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, a lot of reasons why people was for Muhammad Ali is because Joe Frazier had like, Frank Rizzo kind of like was backing Joe Frazier when he fought Muhammad Ali, so, and he was just a symbol of just like a really, really, imagine if Donald Trump is your police commissioner and your mayor. So that's what a guy like Frank Rizzo kind of represented, like from my mom and her generation and my grandpop and them. Like he wasn't a liked man by the Black community. You know what I mean? And so when his statue went down, a lot of these young people, they weren't old enough to be around for Frank Rizzo. I think he passed away. I was young. I'm gonna say maybe 9, 10ish. But but for the generation before me, he represented something that Donald Trump, if that's the that's the best way I can say it if you're not from Philly. So when they tore down his statue, I was like, wow, that was deep, man.
How about Mike Hinkle?
Who's that?
The guy that it was going viral yesterday. Michael Hinkle. He's the supervisor. He was tearing down some Black Lives Matter statues. And Meek, did you hear about that?
Oh, is he like a judge or something like that?
Yeah.
I know somebody that works for him. He lost his job.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I know somebody that works for him. Yup. You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised, man, how certain people feel about certain things, man. You really would. You'd be surprised, man.
So let's go on to boxing a little bit, man. You got Dylan Price in the gym coming up soon. I see he's been working hard with his father.
I haven't had a chance to see him too much. But he was supposed to fight on the card January 18th when we took him off the card, man. It's a good kid. I really like working with him, man. Me and his dad get along really good. And, I'm honored that they asked me to come on the team.
And JROC? How you and JROC doing? You haven't spoken to him?
I've spoken to him. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen anybody since the pandemic. I saw him right before the pandemic. I went to go see his eyes. He had surgery on both of his eyes. But I haven't seen him since then, man. I've been pretty stringent on the quarantine.
How's that coming? His eyes?
Far as I know, they look good, know. But he had just scar tissue on both eyes, It was something that was long overdue. But you know how boxing is, sometimes you after a loss, you kind of tend to things a little bit differently than you do after a win. So he went and got his eyes done. So that was a good thing.
Have you rewatched that fight?
One time, man. I can't really look at it.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
You know what, man? It's a lot of tangible things that we can point to that happen. It's things that I really, I don't really put it this way. If Julian fights this kid in a rematch and beats him, then I can talk about him, because
makes sense.
It's not fair to take away from the guy's victory. The dude fought his ass off and we got in the ring. You know what I mean? Nobody puts a gun to your head and makes you get in the ring. You know what I mean? It's some things that we could point to. A lot of people, they like, well, he got Julian's number. He shouldn't fight him in a rematch. Fred Julian beat that kid in a rematch, man. He just got.
I tell people that the whole time.
He just got to be right. He got to be right. He got to, he has to be right. It's things that he knows. When you fight the best you can and you have the perfect camp and you fight the ultimate best you can and you get smoked, that kind of damages your confidence. But if like you can literally point to like 4 or 5 things like, man, that happened and it's literally nothing you can do about it. It's like, all right, I just got to eat this until these 6 months is up and I get this joker back in the ring and I'm going to take care of business. So my confidence isn't shook. Julian shouldn't be either. You know what I mean? I don't baby a guy after a fight, whether we win or lose. I've been in the gym with the kid for 10 years. So I'm not going to, the time that we spent together, I probably spend more time with him than I do my wife. So I'm not like calling him a million times and all that. But he should be all right, man. It's boxing, man. Nobody's going to have a pity party for you. Don't nobody care about you. You got to just, he knows what went wrong. And that's just that, the dude fought the best he could fight. And We had things going on, but at the end of the day, you can't make excuses and take away from his victory. And Julian did the right thing. He never talked about him. You know, he just stood up and said, all right, I got to come back. And that's just that, you know, so he'll get that kid back. And I hope he's a big underdog because I like to bet. And
so do I.
And people run their mouth and they say different things. And I hope he's a huge underdog. You know, I really honestly do. And they'll see, you know, so we'll get a rematch soon enough. The pandemic kind of actually works out for Julian because
it works out to get the rematch potentially.
Well, it works out because he had to get his eye surgery. The eye surgery was something I was telling them about for a long time. And he finally went to go get it. But now that it's got a chance to heal, it's better. You know what I mean? That's better. Like, okay, so now we got to kind of see what's going to go on. But now we got more time for it to heal because Julian wouldn't have been able to get back into the ring until August or September anyway to give his eyes a chance to heal. So this works out for him. It's perfect. But we'll see. You know, some decisions I can make. Some decisions are bigger than me. You know, the networks cut the check. But he'll beat that kid in the rematch, man. He really will. Julian has to remain consistent mentally. He has to stop spreading himself so thin. He has to stay off social media and stop listening to these cruel people try to lower your self-esteem and kill your spirits.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing that I try to tell them. But these young guys, they, you know, I can't, they just, social media, man, is bad for your soul. You know, I don't read no comments or no interviews that I give, nothing that I do, because people say some cruel things. You know, I probably block 3 or 4 people a day. I block people that say shit to him. They don't even got to say it to me. If I scan through and I see something, I block it. You know, and Julian has to learn to navigate through that. You know what I mean? Because that'll have you thinking that you're something that you're not. You know, and I'm hearing this guy is this and this guy's that. That guy is a really good, solid fighter with a good punch that had a good night. And sometimes, Fred, it's Murphy's Law. Sometimes where everything that can go wrong does go wrong. And you know, it's God's will. You know, that kid come from a bad situation. He trained his butt off. He deserves to make $1 million, you know. So sometimes things line up like that. But Julian should get that kid back emphatically. And, you know, I'm really confident that he will, you know, but at the end of the day, it's up to him. You know, he can't feed into this social media. He can't feed into everybody telling him what he should do and all that kind of stuff because, you know, he made it here for a reason. And he didn't make it here to have 1 million people's opinion tell him what he needs to do because he know what he needs to do. You know what I mean? That's one thing about these fighters in this era. They get they're too accessible to other people's opinion.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying, Fred?
Right.
You know, like I watch you from afar. Like I see you do your thing with your properties and you know your wife and your kids or whatever. And I don't have to know your personal business to know 40 people not telling you, Fred, you need to do this with your money, or Fred, you need to flip this, or you need to treat your wife a certain kind of way, or you need to do this, or you're an activist over here. You do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You got your formula for your life. And, you know, and these young guys, you know, I just sit back and I just watch them. And Julian, you know, he falls into, when I say young guys, he falls into that category. You can't be accessible, man. You can't be taking advice from everybody. You know, everybody don't know your formula. Everybody don't know what goes on in your personal life and everything that you had to do leading up to the fight, leading up to that point in your life, leading up to Jared Hurd fight, etc., etc. They don't know it. So when they give you giving you advice, they giving you advice from a flawed perspective because they don't know everything that you had to do. They don't know how your weight was or what you had going on, or did you have an injury, or did you have and I'm not saying he did or he didn't. I'm just saying they don't know that. And these guys got to be careful. Every time I see a fighter, you know, lose a fight, the panic button get pushed. You know what I'm saying? And they want to do all of these different things. I'm like, man, maybe the dude was just better than you that night. Maybe that was just his fucking night. That's all. You just regroup and stop making everything out to be. Let me tell you something, man. When I make love to my wife every night, I don't go 40 minutes every night. Sometimes it just ain't good night.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying, Fred? Sometimes you talk about basketball. I play basketball. You ain't gonna get 40 every night. Every night, you know, sometimes your baseline is 18 or 20. And these guys press the panic button and they start doing all these different things. And I'm like, damn, man, you ain't got to do all of that. You know, sometimes it's the other guy's night. That's all. It just happens like that sometimes. You know what I mean? And whenever I see that, man, and I guess that's part of a fighter's psyche, you know, it's hard to just say that guy's better than me that night. Or, you know, he just got over that night. You got to find something else that went wrong. You know what I mean? And I think it's just unfortunate, you know what I mean? That's the mindset all the time with these fighters. You know, they got to find all of these things that went wrong. When you know what went wrong, you just regroup. You focus, don't allow yourself to be distracted, and stop. Can't nobody just call me up and just give me advice, Fred? I mean, you got to be like, we got to be all right. I got to like, seriously, you just can't. Like, you can't just call me up. Well, your daughter shouldn't have watched the George Floyd thing. I'm like, who are you? Don't tell me what my daughter need to watch. You know what I'm saying? You can, or you can't get on Fred Hawthorne's show because no, I get on whoever show I want to get on. I just never been like that. You know, and it just, I'm just not like that, man. You know, I'm cut different, man. You know, I used to have guys tell me, man, Julian Williams never won nationals before. You wasting your time with him. That kid ain't gonna be this. All right, well, we're gonna see. Man, you telling you wasting your time. He never even made it to the semifinals of a national. We were trying to get signed. People would call the gym act. He just okay. That's what they would say about us, Fred. He just all right. That's what they was literally saying. You know what I was saying? I'll see y'all in a few years. I don't let nobody tell me that. And me and him, we just grinded. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. You know, I really haven't talked to him about that because I can imagine people getting in his ear. He know how I am. I'll just get aggravated and be like, man, you get mentally weak. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he is, but we haven't really got into that because that's just, I don't let people do that to me. You know, with that Charlo, I'm like, so what? He got fucking caught. Boy, big dude could punch his ass off. He all right. He get up. I sent his ass to Triple G, let him spar with no headgear the first time he got back in the ring after that, man. I sent him out to Triple G to camp the next summer. I'm like, all right, we're going to see if he can take a punch. I jumped on the plane, snuck up on him, and drove up there in the mountains and saw and him and Triple G was going at it. I'm like, he all right. You know what I mean? I don't get like that, man. You know, I get passionate, you know, like sometimes in front of him, like if I like really got to snap on him and curse him out, it'll be like a personal thing with me and him if I'm aggravated because I hate to lose. But people like push all these panic buttons and they be doing too much. I'm telling you, Fred, if Julian fight that boy again, man, he gonna beat that kid. Trust me when I tell you.
I'm gonna
beat that kid.
Be a heavy dog too.
Yeah, he gonna beat that kid. It's just some things that he just can't let himself get spreaded thin. You know what I mean? He can't, you know, certain things happen he can't control, but he can't allow everybody because you got to remember something. And the fight before that, he was the toast of the world. That was the best performance anybody had ever seen for the longest time. Now all of a sudden he garbage. It doesn't work that way. He had a night. You know what I'm saying? And he just got to compartmentalize it, man. He got to be mentally strong, man. And he just can't. It's just a shame with this era. You know what I mean? It really, really is. It's a shame. And I could see that the guys that succeed, they have a way of compartmentalizing that, and they're able to be consistent and get through this way of everybody being able to reach you and everybody being able to get in your inbox and tell you what you need to do. Yeah, I ain't for all of that, man. I had this coach calling me, telling me, man, I said, man, you can't even get a kid out of the first round of a local tournament, man. Get out my face, man. What you talking about? Man, coach little local kids in the tournament. Get a kid up that never won nationals, make him $1 million and get him the unified championship of the world. Don't start telling me about hand trapping and sliding off and you learn this from this coach. Well, then how about this? Don't bless me with all your knowledge. Go take the fighter and do what I did with Julian Williams. Stop giving me all your knowledge. What you giving it to me for? We ain't personal friends. We didn't grow up together. So why don't you bless one of your fighters and do it with one of them? So that's how I feel about that, man. But we'll see. We'll see. That's my motto, man. For everything when it comes down to boxing, we'll see. Time always tells.
So you got a chip on your shoulder too. You want to take some calls too as we continue to talk?
whatever you want on the show. I don't know how the format goes.
Okay, yeah, we just take some calls and we in the barbershop. They ask the questions and you can answer how you want. You can say, "Shut the fuck up, please. Shut up, hang up on them forever." We could do all that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So feel free to call it as we continue the conversation. So you got a chip on your shoulder as well. You want
that chip on my shoulder, man. I just don't let people get away with doing certain things with me. You know what I mean? Like anybody just can't tell me anything. Like you just not qualified to just tell me what I should be doing with my life or what I should be doing with a fighter that I know intimately or what probably happened or what didn't happen or anything like that. It's an etiquette and it's a way you approach people. And, you know, a lot of these fighters, they let everybody get in their minds and get in their heads. And what it does, it creates doubt. You know, it creates hesitation. Sure. And you start second guessing everything you're doing to get up to that point, man. And that's what separates these fights. Not the physical talent. It's up here. It really is, man. It's up here. And, you know, hopefully, you know, Julian not letting nobody do that. Because one thing I'm not going to do is be babysitting nobody's conscience. I ain't going to be, don't talk to nobody. I ain't doing all of that, man. We've been through this before. And Julian can point and he knows exactly what went wrong in this fight. And he knows exactly how to rectify it. You know what I mean? And it ain't rocket science at all.
Yeah, you know what someone told me, and I'm gonna change the word. It probably doesn't fit JROC, but someone says, "I'm not equipped to manage or carry your insecurities. Those are yours." Like I have my own insecurities, I have my own problems, but I don't know how. You know,
I agree, man. I just watch the fighters, man, and I always say, damn, why do they allow so many people to just have an influence on their lives? I sit back and I watch them, and it's just something I just don't agree with, man. I just, you know, I don't let nobody tell me what I do, right? I don't believe in that.
Okay. We got 702. We got Soup. We call him Super Coon, by the way, Breadman. This guy's
Bread, they tripping. That's why they do that, man. They hate. Bread, you did a great job with JROC, man. I just want to tell you that.
Breadman right? did. Breadman did.
Bread, yeah, I call him Bread, man. He's my favorite fighter. But the problem is, man, JROC didn't get the credit he deserved for her, man. He pitched the first shutout I've ever seen. He fought the whole 12 rounds. He took the fight out of her. He just changed the game. I've never seen a fighter in my whole life fight 12 rounds without taking a round off. He's the only one to do it. And he got mad props from me. His last fight, he fell off a little bit. But I'm rooting for him, man. I know he's going to come back. What's your game plan?
You know, if it's up to me, man, we go right to Rosario. But it ain't up to me. So I think we're going to get him. But I think that we might have to take a fight in between.
Do you think Charlo Rosario is already next? I'm sorry to cut you off, Super Cool. Do you think Rosario is already
it could be, but honestly, I want Julian to fight both of them before he leaves the division. You know, I think Julian's days are numbered, making 154 pounds. So I think he needs to get those 2 or 3 fights in before he moves up. I think he, you know, honestly, he's gonna have to move up really soon.
I agree. It doesn't hurt him to get a little bit more experience and just, I don't know. He's such an intense fighter, you know, and it's sad to say, I don't know which JROC's going to show up. You know what I mean? If JROC is at 100%, he's at 1,000%. Does that make sense?
You know what?
If he's not bringing that, then, you know, I don't know.
You know what? You're right. And Julian, it's not that he don't train hard, because he trains hard for everybody. But sometimes his intensity, it overwhelms him and it creates some anxiety and it creates him to be a little bit hot and cold. And that's something that he's going to have to figure out within himself. But you are right. You know, there's certain things that he has to do to settle himself down before a fight. And he has to keep it that way. And against her, you know, he had like a calm and a reserve about him. And in this fight, he was overwhelmingly intense. He had like angst. He was like trying to get it over with too fast, and accompanied with other things. It creates you to be hot and cold. That's a good perception, and it's something that I've told him several times before. You know, and unfortunately, you know, you see things in the gym and it never happens in the fight. And unfortunately, one of those bad days happen in a real fight instead of just happening in the gym or in sparring where you could just regroup and just come back the next day. And sometimes it happens in a real fight. And unfortunately for us, it happened in a real fight this time.
And if you look at his career, one more thing I just want to say, if you look at JROC's career, he's had the most dramatic highs and lows. He came up real fast, right? He was at his peak when he fought Charlo. Then he had that big drop. Then he came back up after he won off her, and now he dropped again. You see these peaks and valleys in his career? They're so dramatic.
Yep. You're right. And, you know, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It shows resiliency. It shows that you get to see him at his apex, and you're like, wow, what a fighter. And then you see him low, and then you're like, man, this kid is hot and cold. It's just something that he's just going to have to overcome, you know. But the one thing in our favor is that he just had a bad night. So whenever he has an off night, he comes back with a really, really good night. And I'm telling you, man, he's going to tear that kid up if they fight again. And everybody's going to be like, damn, was he on PEDs, or like what happened in the first fight? And then he could just tell his story. And you know what I mean? Then he could say, I'm telling y'all what happened in the first fight. And then he could tell, you know, I'm going to, you know, push him to tell exactly what happened. And then it'll all kind of make sense to everybody.
Well, I'm rooting for you guys, man. You did a fantastic job with him. I wish I could meet him. He's one of my favorite fighters, but I'm open to chat lines. Nice rapping with you guys.
Appreciate you. Breadman, you brought kindness out of Super Coon. That is amazing. This motherfucker calls in and curses me out, calls me little bald head black motherfucker. He hates Deontay Wilder, so you know how I feel about him. Oh my God. Oh, man, it must be them cheesesteaks, man. Terrence says Rock hasn't peaked yet, man. There's more to come from him. Yeah.
Thank you, Terrence.
How do you see him at 160?
Good, man. He's ready. You know,
no,
he's ready. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Fred. One thing about me, man, you know, I get accused. I just got accused of telling Julian the truth too much. You know what I mean? Somebody really important in my life just told me, like, man, you tell that kid the truth too much. And I've been telling him he got to move up. You know, he just does. You know, if he's not gonna move up, he has to spend some serious money on the nutritionist or the dietitian, because it's at that time. I know his body. You know, I've been with him since 2009, 2010, you know, he used to stay at my house and make weight. So it's time, you know. I mean, it's things that only I can do to make him make weight, and it's getting to that point where he got to move up. He knows it, you know. I mean, if he's honest with himself, he knows he got to move up. We got about 2-3 more fights here at 154, and we're gonna make it by the skin of our teeth. And he got to hire somebody really, really to do everything perfectly. You know what I mean? Because it's getting to that point now where it's like,
okay,
you know.
323 in the building. What's up, DB? What you got?
Oh shit, man. You know, I'm having a good like what AB say. Oh, you know, DB. Breadman, what's cracking, coach?
Hey, how you doing, my man?
Hey, don't be gang banging. Hey, don't be gang banging on DB. I mean, don't be ganging on Breadman, DB. He said, "What's crack?" Like you a Crip or something. Yeah. He from LA.
Look, he's from Philly, so I ain't gotta be like, "Where you from, homie?"
I like LA, man. I went out LA for my 40th birthday, man. I went to I know this is gonna sound corny to y'all, but I love movies, and my wife took me to Universal Studios for my 40th, man. We had a great time out there.
You should have hit me up, man. I could have got you something really good for a really great price. But anyways, man, what's up? Go ahead.
hey, for real, man. Look, I bounced at some of the best spots out here. So yeah, when you come back, let Fred know, man. We'll set something up for you.
100%, man. Hopefully it'll be soon, man. I like the West Coast.
Yeah, ain't no coast like the West Coast is the best coast.
Yep.
Yeah, so and in terms of boxing, once boxing resumes, will you continue the PBC Breaking Bread with Breadman series?
Sure. I mean, I just wait for him to call me, man. You know, I get little bones thrown at me, man. I get a couple of little podcasts here, a couple little things here, check here. You know, I just wait for them to call me. If they call me, I'll do it. If I got time, it's cool.
Yeah, right on, man. I really like that. So what's your competitive advantage and your uniqueness as a trainer?
You know what, man? I think I just look at things differently than a lot of coaches. I hear people like say different things, man. And I like, I always like, I just view things differently than most people, man. Like with the Herd fight, for example, everybody, like even coaches in our gym was like, man, y'all got to move. Y'all got to do this. Y'all got to do that. And I can't tell because we're going to fight Herd again. So I can't tell everything I did. But I was like, one day I called you and I said, man, we ain't got to run from this dude. I'm like, you don't got to run from him. And he looked at me and we worked on something in the fight. And I'm like, man, I said, Joel, let me tell you something. His arms is too long. He can't bring his arms back to defend himself. We don't have to run from him. We're going to stay right there. And you're going to beat him to the punch consistently. And we're going to go to his body. And when the truck try to run you over, you flatten the tires. Don't nobody go to his body. I said, that dude is a Mack truck and you get stronger as the fight go on. But we're going to stick something down in his body and we're going to see who the stronger guy is in the second half. And everybody, was like giving us credit for the game plan. But I was just like, I think it's common sense. If a truck trying to run you over, you can't run away from it. You got to flatten them tires, man. So I just view things differently than a lot of coaches, man. I'm an optimist, man. I work hard, I don't leave no stone unturned. I can't sleep. I got paranoia and anxiety. So I'm up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. If, with Julian, one of the reasons why I think that we probably don't talk as much as we used to because we be around each other so much. We get up. I'm making sure he at the track. I know that's a pain in the ass, but I'm the type of person that if anything goes wrong, I want to be able to blame myself. So I do everything. It's nothing that I don't do. I look at fighters. I could tell a fighter's weakness. I got like a really good sense of I just know human nature. I got a good sense of I'm moving a little bit, Fred. I'm gonna get my plug. But I just got a real good sense of human nature, man. I know human beings. I know who's I know when a fighter is weak in a certain area. I know when a fighter is not weak in a certain area. I know when the guy is hurt. I know when the guy's a front runner. I know who the guns are in the boxing world, and I know who the pretenders are. And I never disrespect fighters, but I could just tell certain things about fighters, man. And I'm unique in that way where I'm really good judge of human character, man. I've been out here a long time in this world, man, and I done made it. And I haven't been no angel. So you got to be a judge of human character and be able to tell certain things, man. And that's one of the reasons why I stuck with Julian when he first turned pro, because I knew he was a real fighter, So I think that's what makes me unique. I got a really good sense of who's the real deal and who's not, who's a pretender. You know what I mean? And like the kid he just fought, that kid can fight. He's a good little fighter, but he's not better than Julian. Julian can beat that kid. We just got to be on. You know what I mean? There's some guys around 154 and 160 that I think are tougher fighters than that kid.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great quality to have too. So with your professional eye, if you could rank the 2 or 3 trainers that you see doing a great job or that you may look up to, who would they be?
Look up to
I guess if we say look up to, that would be past tense. I know you don't want to.
Well, 3 trainers that I've kind of come in contact with over the years that I got a lot of respect for, and that's Emmanuel Stewart. I met him when Julian fought a kid named Hector Rosario on the Bernard Hopkins, Chad Dawson undercard, and we talked for about an hour. It's funny because we talked about Julian fighting Tony Harrison. As far as back then, he was a visionary, man. And brother Nazim, he's in our gym, and he like comes to our fights, like he just pops up in the dressing room. And not so much X's and O's with brother Nazim as far as like, Steve, you should do this or do that. But he's just like just a positive energy and influence. He's always positive, and he's just, he's really, really supportive without being overbearing. Because some trainers, if you're in the gym, they swear they know everything. They swear their way is the right way. And a lot of guys are more popular than they are good. And a lot of people don't want to say that. But a lot of dudes just have more opportunities than other people, and they don't really be that good. But brother Nazim, he don't try to get in your business. He don't tell you, hey, you gotta do this or have you gotta do that. He's just like really, really calming, just positive influence. Like he just showed up at the Herd fight. I was like, damn, I didn't even know you was coming. I'd have put you some tickets to the side. Like, don't worry about it. And Virgil Hunter is probably a mentor that I would say. He reached out to me about 10 years ago and just called me on the phone and was just like, man, I heard you're doing a good job with a young man out in Philly. He's been fighting out on the West Coast. And he was just like, man, you know, I really respect what you're doing. I was like shocked. I was like, damn, man, you know, and I was like, you know, and we became really, really cool. He's the person that I'll make talk strategy with and X's and O's with and things like that. So that was like the first person that I ever. So those are the three guys that have been like a older influence. As far as current trainers, I like Derek James. I think Derek James is good, man. You know, I mean, we might have guys that may have to fight each other, but I really respect Derek and I like him a lot. I think Roy Jones is a good trainer, man. You know, I think Roy Jones is a good trainer.
Insert cough.
Say it again.
I said insert cough. Roy like dealing with Russians, man. Roy don't want to deal with us, man. So you know, I don't really fool with dudes.
No, I'm telling you, he works with a lot of young inner city guys in the gyms out there. I know.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
We don't promote him, man.
If you look on YouTube, you'll see him working with that kid, Raheem.
I'm gonna call Roy and have him on the show. I'm gonna call.
No, I think Roy Jones is good. He works with that kid Raheem Gonzalez sometime. He works with some guys. Who else? I think
I must have forgot.
Pedro Diaz is good.
He said, "I must have forgot."
I think Pedro Diaz is a good trainer.
Yeah.
I think Ronnie Shields is good.
Mm-hmm.
Shane McGuigan, I think he's good. There's a lot of guys that I think is good, man. I think man, my head is getting a little good. I think Terrence Crawford has a good crew. Yeah, they're pretty good. I respect everybody, man. You know what? Everybody got their own way of doing things. No way is right or wrong. You know, it's just you kind of got to customize what you do to the fighter that you got. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of guys that I think are good trainers, man. What's so funny?
Someone said Roy Jones is training Vladimir Putin to beat Trump. Shout out to Reggie Owens, man. Shout out to Reggie Owens. Oh man, that's funny as hell.
I'm glad Virgil is on your list, man. California got some good cats out there, man. And yeah, I'm glad Virgil was on that list. So
man, Virgil Hunter's a great trainer, man. He gets underrated, man, for the job that he did with Ward, man. Especially people don't realize Ward got a bad right hand, man. And if you look at him, man, he did all of that pretty much with one hand, man. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have a bad fist. It's something different to have a bad shoulder where you can't turn on the shot. If your arm is cool and your hand is messed up, you can kind of get a wrap and get your hand and land punches. You may not have a closed fist, but with the right kind of wrap, you could deliver a shot. But when your shoulder's messed up, you can't even shoot the shot. And Ward, and you know, the job that Verge did with Ward, man, is, and then he knocks Kovalev out with a right hand in the last fight. How symbolic is that?
That was beautiful.
You know what I mean? It's Verge did a hell of a job, man. I think Verge get a lot of flack because, you know, he took some guys like, you know, the Khans and Bertos later in their career, and they really didn't have a lot of success. But people don't know this about the game, Fred. Verge like 60-something years old, right? So when he get a guy that's making $2, $3, $4 million, like, you got to take that money. You didn't work this game and be with Andre Ward since he was an 8, 9-year-old kid, and he ain't making no money up until he wins the title. You don't make over $1 million until you defend the title. You don't get that in the title shot. So then when he gets these jobs at the end and people want to criticize him, well, Amir Khan can't beat Canelo and Terrence Crawford, but you got to take that money. what are you going to do? You're not working till you 60, 70 years old to not make no money. So your wins and losses in certain areas is not going to look a certain kind of way. But this is a business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So when I hear fans and media criticize certain things, I just shake my head and I say, if y'all in that position, you know, as a trainer, to get a 6-figure night, you know how a boxer's goal is to get a 7-figure night? Well, a trainer's goal is to get a 6-figure night. They don't come along that often. So you got to take that money. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing Verge could do with freaking Khan and Canelo. What can you do with that fight? You know what I'm saying? Of course he's going to lose that fight. You going to hold that against him? Come on, man. You know, so Verge a hell of a trainer, man. Trust me, he really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's the fighter that you see has a decent amount of talent that if they worked with you, you can make them into a champion? And I know that may be speaking.
Oh, man. You know what, man? I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this. You know.
We in a barbershop, baby. We in a barbershop.
You know what? But I'm going to say it, you know, and this ain't nothing against their coaches. It's just a fighter that I saw that I like his body type. And I just said, damn, man, I could do something with him for a certain fight. And Fred going to like this. And let me preface, it's nothing against his coaches. They're doing a great job. I never, ever criticize a coach, man, because you don't know what they go through. But when I saw Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, I said, damn, man, if I had Wilder, man, shit, I could just see little teeny things they was doing. Wilder don't need me. That joker got 10 title defenses and way more money than I ever smelled. And Mark Breedlin is a great coach and was a great Olympian. I'm not ever going to do nothing like that. But I always go by my authentic initial reaction to anything. And when I saw Wilder Tyson Fury, I was like, man, I wish I had Wilder. And it's funny because Verge called me that night and he said, Steve, you'll do a good job with Wilder. And I said, shit, man. And we actually talked about how I would fight Fury with Wilder, because when he was getting bull rushed like that, it was two little things that Wilder could have did to kind of just take away that, man. You know, but I don't really know Deontay like that, and I'm never gonna lie.
He's watching, so he's watching. So let's
I know him and Julian are real cool. But when I saw that fight, I just saw something that I don't think Deontay was realizing that was happening. And again, that's another fight where, you know, he probably don't want to take away from Fury's victory, but it's probably was things going on similar with Julian and Rosario. And as a fighter, you just can't say them because you can't make excuses. You got in the ring and you collected your check, so you really can't make excuses. But you know, I could tell there was some things going on with Deontay in that fight. But that's the one fighter, man, that I look at and I say, whoa, man, it's because I don't care what nobody say. Tyson Fury won. I don't, you know, I would never discredit a man's victory because boxing is hard enough to win fights at the top level. But Deontay Wilder is not out of that third fight. It's small adjustments.
Well, tell us, what is it?
It's here. Okay, I'm just talking about just from
half stepping. What do you think you should do?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not. I would tell him personally.
Okay. I
don't want to do that because it's disrespectful to his coach.
Well, send it to my DM, and I want to read it. Send it to my DM, and I'll make sure he gets it. Tonight.
One thing about that fight, as far as the future fight, they're talking about the third fight, right? So here's what I always say about that: Deontay Wilder was as worse as he could be that night, right? Okay. Tyson Fury probably fought a little bit over his head that night.
I think so.
Now, baseline averages, we're not going to see Tyson Fury be that good again. God damn, he was a monster that night. You know what I'm saying? We never seen him even fight an aggressive fight like that. So if Deontay Wilder moved his game up a little bit and Tyson Fury just comes back down to earth a little bit, now we got a very competitive fight like the first fight was. So people so fast to throw mud on people and be like, oh my God, Deontay can't win. I'm like, man, first of all, them dudes is throwing hand grenades. They both big guys. Anybody could get hurt in a fight like that. A small adjustment and you got a much more competitive fight. So who expects Tyson Fury to win every round against Deontay Wilder and bust his eardrum, hurt him early. That's not going to happen again. The third fight is going to be more competitive. So I just believe that I don't believe that Deontay Wilder's out of that fight. I really don't. I think now I can say this. I think that I don't know Deontay Wilder, but I always thought that his biggest asset was not just that he could punch, is that he was fast and he could punch and shock you, and he don't give you time to brace for the incoming shot. And you know, I was talking to some people about it because I bet I'm a gambler, and I told
I bet that night. I tagged you.
So they were talking about how heavy Deontay was, and I just was like, everybody has their own perception of things. But I was saying to myself when they were saying that Deontay Wilder wanted to get heavy, I was like, damn, man. How hard do he want to punch? He's killing people at 210, 215. Yeah. How do he need to get heavier? You know what I mean? I guess it's just a mental security thing for him. But I always thought that he can punch his ass off, but it wasn't just how hard he punched. It was the fact that he could punch and you didn't have time to brace for the shot. So like with that Brazil shot, Brazil didn't even see it. He didn't even see the punch coming. It was almost like somebody walked up and was like, yo, man, can you light my cigarette? And he goes to light the cigarette and you sucker punch him and knock him out cold. You don't even see the shot. So the more weight that he has, he's pushing around more weight. I don't care what Tyson Fury do. My personal opinion is Deontay Wilder needs to be fast and swift because people can say what they want. He was stepping in on Tyson Fury in that second half of that first fight. And Tyson Fury has good defense, but he didn't even have time to brace for those shots because they was coming so fast. He was able to see Deontay Wilder's shots in the second fight, in my opinion. So that would be something that I would address if I was Deontay Wilder. I wouldn't worry about all of that getting muscle and all that kind of stuff. That Joker he's like a panther. And go with your God-given talent, man. He's a fast twitch person, a fast twitch fighter, and anybody knows the hardest thing to deal with in the ring is speed and quickness. And I wouldn't give that up if I'm him. But he knows his body better than I do. I'm just looking from the outside in that I like the fast Deontay Wilder.
Okay, so now that we secured that Tyson Fury was a cheat, my next question is...
I didn't say that, man. I didn't say that. Don't get me in the middle of that. I never said that.
No, I ain't gonna do that to you. I know you said you want to discredit a man's win, but we know where your heart is at. So, who's the best young prospect you think right now that in 3-4 years will be the man?
Jaron Ennis. They call him Boots. He's from. I'm not saying this just because he's from Philadelphia, but that kid got a special talent.
Who'd you say?
Jaron Ennis.
Boots Ennis.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Boots been talking big shit on a couple of days ago.
Hey man,
he's talking to EJ and Bud.
Well, let me tell you something, man. They better be careful with that kid. I'm telling you. I seen him in the gym up and close and personal, and that kid is nasty, bro. That kid got. I'm not saying he's as good as these people because you got to see him at the top level and you got to see him crack. But he remind me of like a mix of you. Do you guys remember Mark Too Sharp Johnson? He's the fighter.
Yeah, he goes all the fights now. Yeah.
He's like an inventor now. He like invents stuff. He does patents and everything. Believe it or not, Fred. I seen him at a convention in Vegas. He reminds me of a mix of Mark Too Sharp Johnson and Roy Jones. Man, Boots Ennis is a talented kid. He's a little bit bigger and longer than Spence and Crawford. He's a lot younger. And that matters, man. You guys may not understand this, but there's a difference between the faculties of a 23-year-old kid and a dude that's 30 and 32. They done took a lot less punishment. You know what I mean? Just the sparring, just going through camps and things like that. I'm telling you, those guys got to be super careful of that kid, man. He's serious. I've seen him in the gym up and close and personal. He sparred my guys several times. That kid can really, really fight, and he enjoys boxing. He stays in the gym. You know, he's not gonna get no title shot until he becomes a mandatory. Somebody like to trust me. Ain't nobody giving him no title shot.
I was thinking him versus Sean Porter or something like that. You know what I mean? Because Sean Porter needs to get back on I don't think Terence Crawford's gonna fight him.
You talking about Ennis and Sean Porter?
Yeah, Ennis and Sean Porter. I think
you know what? the thing is, though, Fred, is that Ennis is not with PBC.
Oh, he's not.
And with just from everything I know about boxing, this don't have nothing to do with
Showtime.
me. You don't give a kid like if PBC. I doubt if they give a kid like that a chance for one of these standout fighters if he's not with the company. You know what I mean? That's just everything that I know about boxing. You know, whoever he's with, they're gonna have to create some opponents, or they're gonna have to give somebody some options on the kid because he's that good. Nobody's just gonna just fight him and just let him just. I'm not saying that that Sean can't beat him. Sean's a dog, but I'm just saying that like Sean's at a place right now where he probably wouldn't want to be dealing with no young kid like that to let him make his name. You know what I mean? He can. There's other guys over in the PBC that he can fight. I'm telling you, that kid's a problem, man.
Yeah, the reason why I was saying that was because he already fought the guys already. You know what I mean? He already fought Keith Thurman, and maybe he needs that to bounce back and get like some oomph behind his name. Because no one.
The thing about Sean is that he hasn't lost convincingly. Like, you know, like all of his fights are competitive.
2 rounds at the max. You're right.
So he can kind of, he can get a fight, maybe a rematch with Danny Garcia, rematch with Keith Thurman, maybe Manny Pacquiao. He hasn't fought him yet. You know, who knows? I mean, I don't want to play matchmaker for nobody else, but I think there's fights out there for Sean. You know, he just got to figure it out. But I don't know if anybody wants to mess with that kid, man. I'm telling you. He's about 5'11". His arms hang down to his knees.
His arms are long.
He switched southpaw to orthodox. He could punch. He could fight all night. He constantly jabbing. He got these real cat-like reflexes, young and youthful. You know, Fred, it's like playing the dude. You come back to your old high school kid, like 17, 18, want to play you one-on-one, man. Sometimes you don't feel like dealing with that crap, man.
Facts.
You know, it's like I don't know if they feel like dealing with him, man. You know, Julian got to be in the mood to spar that kid. He can't just be moving around the gym. Like, we got to be in shape to box him, bro. He ain't nothing to play with. I'm telling you, that kid is serious, man. And I'm not saying you can beat everybody in the welterweight division because you got to go through the progressions, and I got to see you get hit by one of those guys. But I would not bet money against him versus anybody in the division. And I'm serious when I say that. I don't care about whatever anybody got to say about experience. Experience sometimes is overrated in the aspect of certain level of fighters get more opportunities than other fighters because they're more vulnerable. So sometimes guys be like, man, I didn't fought everybody. I'm be like, yeah, because the matchmakers and the managers know that you're not going to beat everybody. So that's why you keep getting all these opportunities. But a kid like Ennis, he may not have the experience because people not going to fight him. You know what I mean? A prospect going to need a lot of money to fight him.
Facts.
So
you're right.
That's my most talented prospect.
Okay. Now, who do you think has the highest ceiling, Shakur, Devin, or Tank?
I'm going to say it's a toss-up between Shakur and Devin. I think that Tank is short. You know what I mean? So I don't know how high he's going to be able to go up and weight and be effective. You know, he's dense. He has he's big head and stuff like that, but he's a really short guy. He's like 5'4".
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, well, he could be the next Floyd. And I'm like, yeah, but Floyd is 5'8" and freaking with 72-inch reach. So Floyd could fight at welterweight and junior middleweight. Tank Davis is like 5'4" with little stubby arms. I can't see him being too much effective past 135 pounds. And he has weight issues already. So I don't see him being able to rise in weight because there's a Mason-Dixon line with weight. People don't realize this, but after 47, all that weight jumping shit stops because the dudes is bigger, you can get hurt. So you see guys, lightweights and stuff moving from 40 to 47. But after 47, you ever notice none of those guys moved up? It's a whole slew of 47-pounders.
The gloves changed too now.
Everything, they don't move up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Earl Spence is about the only one that I think that has the frame and the physicality to be a dominant fighter at 54. I think Boots in as well too, but he hasn't had a chance to fight for the title yet at 47. But it's just different when you keep moving up like that. So I think that Haney and Shakur will have the height and the range and the ability to keep going up, where I think that Davis has to become more disciplined and he has to stay down in weight because he's like small, like Gary Russell. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that they're so much better than him. It's just that everybody doesn't have a body type to be jumping up in weight. where they do and he don't. So I think they have a higher upside than he does.
Right. My last couple of quick questions for you. So in terms of pound for pound, who do you think pound for pound, first off?
I think right now it's between Crawford and Lomachenko. So I would say they 1A and 1B.
Okay. And then the second part of that question is, every time I look at every list or hear anybody talk about it, they always mention Errol Spence in the top 5, but not mentioning him as number 1. He's got a better overall resume, I would say, if you would agree, than Terrence Crawford, possibly Lomachenko as well. So why isn't EJ number 1, or what does he have to do to be ranked as the pound for pound?
I think he's among the pound for pound top guys, but you asked me number 1. You know what I mean? I think Errol Spence is one of the best. I like Earl a lot, but I don't think he has an overall better resume. I think that he has a better resume than Terrence Crawford at 147. You know, Errol Spence is beating better people and more people at 47. But you got to remember, Terrence Crawford unified at 40. You know, he won the title at lightweight. He's a 3-division champion. So I think that he's been at the level a little bit longer than Earl. Earl won his title, I believe, 2017, but Crawford won his in 2013 or 14. So he has more title fights. He has a little bit more longevity at the top. And it's the same way with Lomachenko. Lomachenko won the title at 26, 30, and 35. I think EJ is kind of, he just, I think that because Earl was denied a title shot for so long, I do think Earl was ducked, you know, and they denied him a title shot. I think that he kind of started ascending a little bit later than they did. You know, Earl got his title shot kind of late. You know, he was 27 when he got a title shot. You know, you know, he hasn't really been champion that long. He's only had about 3 or 4 title defenses. So I think that kind of like hurts Earl because he wasn't given the opportunity that they were giving earlier in his career. But I think he's among the best fighters in the world. But if you asking me, I think those two guys have been, you know, consistency counts for a lot, you know. So I think that those two guys have been at the top a little bit longer than Earl, and they've been more consistent with the top guys. And you know, and plus Earl had a tough fight with Sean Porter, man. That wasn't no easy fight. You know, I'm really objective. You know, I'm an Earl Spence fan, but that knockdown to me separated the fight. That was a tough fight, man. You know what I mean? So you know, I think that those guys are slightly above him right now, but that doesn't mean that he won't be number 1 right now. But I don't think he has the best resume, not yet anyway.
Yeah. So is a W, or the style of fight makes a person?
What do you mean?
Because, so for example, I see EJ's fight against, what's the Bulldog's name? Sean Porter, right? Mm-hmm. I just look at it and I say, Earl won the fight, and that's all to it. I don't look at it and say, you know, it was a competitive fight, so, you know, I'll take a couple of points away from Errol. I just look at it and say, hey, Sean put on the, you know, he did like you said Tyson Fury did. He put on the best fight of his life, and he'll probably never fight that good again for the rest of his life. You know, and Sean's got a great resume of fighting Sherman and Ugas and you know,
Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner. Actually, right. Sean's resume is better than a lot of people. The problem is he didn't win all of his fights. If Sean won all of his fights against Eric, he would be the number 1 pound for pound fighter if you go by resumes. You know,
Josecito Lopez got the best resume at 47, man. Who? Josecito Lopez, man.
Yeah, you know what? Because that's the exact point that I was making, because he could get the most fights. But you know what? I give Earl total credit for that performance. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking away from it. I just think that was a very, very competitive fight. And at the top level, you picking straws. You know what I mean? You're talking about who's the best fighter on the planet. So it may seem like it's being critical, but when you're talking about who's the best fighter on the planet, you got to start looking at performances and not just wins, because you're talking about the best fighter on the planet. And Terrence Crawford does not have one close controversial win. He's either stopped you or he has a dominant decision. Now, he don't have the best resume because he hasn't had he hasn't had the opportunities. But if you look at all of his fights, you never walk away saying, damn, Crawford almost lost that fight, or damn, the other guy could have won. If you're just being objective, it's just the truth. So I would say he's the number 1 fighter, but that don't mean he could beat Earl. Yeah. You know what I mean? Earl's bigger than he is, and they are going to be fighting at welterweight. It doesn't mean he could beat Earl, but right now, I would say, you know, him or Lomachenko are the best. But Lomachenko might lose to that kid Lopez, man. That kid ain't nothing to play with. And he wants smoke. Lomachenko is getting old, and I think Lomachenko is actually slipping a little bit. I see a little bit slippage in him. He got to be careful with them young guns at 135.
Yeah, my buddy, my brother Jay Dixon in the chat, he said AB is a 4-division champ. It's funny how that carries different weight for different fighters.
So, what you want me to say?
No.
Someone asked, "What's your thoughts on AB too?"
I think he's a good fighter, but I mean, how can I say it?
Just say it.
Like,
I told him in his face.
Tell me who he beat for the 4 titles. I don't want to discredit a 4-division champion, but I think that in this era, it beat matters. So I wouldn't put Adrian Broner's career above a kid like Earl Spence, who only won titles in 1 division, and somebody else could say, well, Adrian Broner won titles from 130 to 147, because you have to factor in who you beat for those titles. Were they vacant titles? Was it the best guy in the division? It's a lot of things that context is important, and you know that, Fred. You can't just say, well, this guy is a 4-division champion. You have to have it in context. So was Adrian Broner? I think Adrian Broner was excellent at 130 and 135. But things after that, to me, his best victory is still DeMarco. You know what I mean? DeMarco's still going strong. I heard he actually looked good tonight. So I respect Adrian Broner. He's a really nice kid, but it's just you have to take things in context. I'm not going to say anything better than Terrence Crawford or Long.
Next call, DB.
All right, the last thing I want to ask before I leave, since today's Pac Day, what's your favorite Tupac song?
Oh man, what's the one with him in the courtroom with him and Snoop?
America's Most Wanted.
Yes. Oh, shit, man.
Right on. All right, man, I'm gonna fall back, man. I've been on here for a minute with my co-host. All right, man, Breadman, thanks for coming out with us, man. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.
Hey, you know who I think of Terrence Crawford? I think at 147, Terrence Crawford is Harold Miner. I don't think he's Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah. So, I got to play this intro, but go ahead and finish that.
Scared to death, Negro.
Hold on, Triple OG. I don't think Crawford is that good at 47.
Really?
I think he's too little. I don't think
he's as little as people think he is.
I mean, I've seen him. He has long arms.
He does.
He's very
and he don't have skinny legs either.
He's kind of wiry though. Like he's kind of loose wiry though. Like he's gangly.
I like loose wiry because loose wiry carries good stamina. Okay. And I see you working out in the gym, and the worst feeling in the world is to be tired.
Yeah,
I think that his advantage is that he doesn't struggle to make weight. He's not losing anything to make weight. I think he walks around at about 165, but I think
see that. That's what he looked like at the Wilder fight, 168, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Even though that may sound high to the layman's person, these welterweights is walking around at 180.
Yeah, that's what Earl said, 180, 190.
Yeah, so I think that he has an advantage over Earl in that way, where Earl probably cuts into some muscle where Crawford doesn't. And I think Crawford was forcing himself to make 135. And I think that 147 is actually a good weight for him. I think he has like that Floyd effect where, Floyd and Manny's stamina, they would just beat guys because they were fresher and sharper later in fights. And nobody understood why, because they're not struggling to make weight. You know what I mean? And guys don't want to move up past those weights. You know what I mean? So they fighting guys that's losing 30 pounds when they losing 10.
Yeah.
It counts. You know what I mean? At the top level, Fred, as they say, the pebble in your foot make you fall down the mountain, man. It's the small things, man. So I don't know. I don't think he's unbeatable. I do think that you can hit him, especially early before he kind of starts processing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you can hit him. I think him and Earl is a tight fight, man. I think that's a great fight.
I think Earl punishes that motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah, I think his ego is bigger than his intelligence. You know what I mean?
Hey, guess what? I want to see it.
Yeah, you're right. I want to see.
I want to see how Earl looks after the accident, man.
I'm obviously basing it off the Sean Porter fight.
Yeah, I really want to see him after the accident, man. And one thing I know, man, about these bad weight cuts, you only got but so many in your career, Fred. you know, you see these guys walking around in between fights and they happy and they nice, and then you see them making weight and you like, wow, your body can only what fighters are doing is unnatural. You know, in every other sport, you put bulk on and you put mass on to take punishment. Fighters are losing 30 pounds and they taking punishment in their organs. I want you to think about that. That's what they doing in this era. They losing 30 pounds and then they're getting hit on in their head, in their liver, in their kidney, in their intestines. It's not normal. You screwing up your central nervous system. You screwing up your testosterone. You messing yourself up, man. So, you know, when I hear about Earl's weight cuts, I always say, how many of them is he going to do? You know what I mean? Because for real, if you hear Earl's voice, you know he should have knocked Mikey Garcia out.
Yeah.
You know he should have. And he's saying it in his own way, like, the weight is messing with me. He should have knocked Mikey. If the Earl that fought Chris Algieri would have fought,
that's my favorite fight. That's my fucking favorite Earl fight.
Carry Mikey Garcia out of there on the stretcher. The weight cuts get to you, and your metabolism slows down every year, a little bit by a little bit. I know every year Julian gained an extra 2 pounds in between fights. And I've been training him for 10 years. So you do every year he gains an extra 2 pounds. Your metabolism slows down a little bit by little bit. So how many times can Earl keep cutting that weight? If I'm Earl, I see what's up, and then I'll go after Crawford because you don't want to fight him if you're not 100%. You know what I mean? You can only make the weight but so many times without hurting yourself. And a lot of fighters go to that well too many times.
Yeah, Triple OG.
Okay. You can say that Breadman. How you doing, Mr. Breadman?
How you doing, sir?
All right. What's up, King Fred?
How you feel, dog? Appreciate you, dog.
Always. What the guy say? Highly blessed and stressed. You know, I ain't into that bullshit. But anyway, you can say the same thing about Terrence Crawford record that you said about Earl Spence. Because I can say, name me the toughest guy that Terrence Crawford fought in them other two weight divisions. Give me 2 seconds. Go.
I think Victor Polstyle,
exactly.
Felix Diaz.
Victor who? Victor who?
Well, you know what? Let me just say this, man. I want you to. I'm not discrediting.
It sounds like a guy, a song. Them girls are, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. And the thing about,
I'm not,
but I think AB has fought tougher competition, even though he has lost maybe 2 or 3 of them. But AB didn't stop throwing his hands, and AB got fed as a bowling ball a few times too. And the thing about Earl Spence, I think he did that in 3 fights, blew up. But he ain't weighing that now. He ain't up there 180 now. But one thing for sure, when you fight Earl Spence, you're going to be pissing blood after the fight.
Oh, yeah, he go to the body.
That's the real body snatcher right there.
Yeah, he go to that body.
He goes to that body like and I seen Sean doubling over several times. Yeah, Sean caught him early in the fight with about 4 good licks side the head. And it just showed me how Earl could take a punch. Because Earl got a big, he was talking about Mikey Garcia head. Earl got a big ass goddamn head too. I was like, damn, you talking about Mikey Garcia head, goddamn, his head ain't that much smaller. But
Earl definitely
big head guys take pretty good damn shots. And Tank got a big ass head. And remember now, Tank can be a Mike Tyson.
I think
be like Mike Tyson.
I think Gervonta Davis is a tremendous fighter. He just asked me who has the most upside, and I see that he keeps moving up in weight. But I think he reminds me of a mixture of Tyson and Zab Judah. I think he's a tremendous fighter.
That is a bit of Tyson and Zab Judah. I think he's left-handed.
Yeah.
He sure is. Yeah, that's a good look. I never thought of that. Tyson and Zab Judah. Yeah. Okay. And the other thing, yes, Tyson Fury cheated in that fight because when the doctor said there were injuries in his face that didn't have nothing to do with a boxing glove or a hand wrap.
Okay. So I never knew nothing.
And that I believe. And the man still couldn't put him down. And I said, damn, that Alabama boy is tough. And he just looked weird when he came in the ring that night.
You know what, man?
So quiet after the fight.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you.
Said,
OG, will you let him answer your questions, nigga?
Look, I don't want to answer. I ain't answering no questions. You know I ain't gonna answer question kind of nigga.
But you make a great point. You make a great.
I can only in the talk.
I know. Yeah, he's lonely, man. He's lonely, man.
Go ahead.
He wants to respond to you. Let him respond.
You know what? I think Tyson. I think Deontay Wilder do got an underrated chin. You know what I mean? He's always giving up a lot of weight, man, and very rarely, you know, you've seen him buzz. But everybody in the history of the heavyweight division is gonna get buzzed. But he got a good chin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something funny, man. When I saw him walking down with all that armor on, it's real funny. I don't like when fighters do that. It like that like makes you cold, and it just does something to you. Like it like shocks your body when you do that. And I'm not part of his team, so like I'm gonna make no excuses for him. But if y'all remember, Erickson Lubin did the same exact thing against Jamel Charlo. He had on like that weird.
I remember that.
And it like
remember that.
I don't want you.
Had the Roman
ring walk of that fight with Erickson Lubin and Charlo, and then you get in the ring and you take it off, and it's cold, and it's like I think it just throws your biorhythms off. And then Lubin got caught cold. It takes your body a little time to get. It's like an inswell on your whole body. And when I seen it, I was like, damn, why you got all that shit on? You know what I mean? I
like what you said about Deontay Wilder's weight. You said, man, he was killing people at 210. And so I went, come to think of it. And then that ring walk can be nervous at times. I think that's why Tyson Fury sit down and let him carry his ass out there. I said, okay.
That's part of the game.
But I had no idea he cheated the way he did until the history of him popped up. And I was like, what? So it ain't no doubt in my mind, man. And you got to come in there, you got to fight fire with fire. You can't come in there and fight it with a water gun. And I hope Wilder goes back down to about 215, 210, 215. And I think he takes him out real easy and quick, because I think he is really pissed. He is really pissed. But I remember watching your guy early on when he was coming up the ranks. I saw him before I even knew who the Charlos was. Mm-hmm. What's his name? The Philly guy, your fighter.
Julian Williams.
Yeah. And I said, wow, man, this guy gonna be good, man. And I mean, he was just racking up the wins. And it was like I saw him almost every fight on television. And then the Charlos popped up. I was like, well, where did he come from?
The Charlos popped up.
Yeah, the Charlos, both of them popped up, and then seemed like all of them came at the same time. Arrow, the Charlos, Tank, and I was like, but I remember watching, your guy, he was on television almost I think I saw him for about 10 straight fights. I said, damn, I like him.
He fought a lot on He fought a lot on Showtime.
Philadelphia women. I like them Philadelphia women too. I said, them some crazy motherfuckers up there, but boy, they fine. I said, woo. And another thing, that guy, although he was running, he was running away from the policeman. He just shot the thing backwards. He didn't turn all the way around. Okay. And plus, like they said, he was running. He wasn't a threat. You can't even sleep in your damn car no more. God damn, they finding every reason to kill our ass. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't blame them. The way they were talking to him before that thing started, it was over with until that second officer came up. And then come to find out that second officer had 12 things against him too, like the guy that killed Floyd. I'm like, what? Here we go. Here we go again. So I think they're getting ready to make an example out of a whole lot of people because now they're marching using the Wendy's guy, the guy that got killed at Wendy's picture. I said, uh-oh. And they're happening too quick. This stuff always happens, but this has happened too many times in a row. And it's like a powder keg in the United States now. It ain't going to be one city that burns. It's going to damn near be every city they're protesting in. Because I didn't know who that police chief was when they was tearing the one down in Philadelphia. I was like, well, who the fuck is that? He was kind of modern, you know. And then I heard the history on his ass. I said, They just got these racist motherfuckers everywhere. When white folks are starting to get tired of their own people's racism, they out in the street.
Appreciate you,
And
Triple
they're the
OG.
ones burning up shit. They know how to burn up shit. They caught a little
Pastor
white
Usher
girl
Deacon
burning up some shit.
305. Pastor Usher Deacon 305. Oh, my bad. This my bad. This Triple OG.
Don't get with the pastor. I'll go back in the chat. Good talking to y'all kings, man. Love y'all.
Appreciate you. Hey, since you mentioned Lubin, how about you and Lubin rumble? Is that an option?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be fighting. I'm a trainer.
Oh, yeah. How would that fight? How would that work out?
I think very highly of Erickson Lubin. I think he's a really good fighter. He can go. You know what I mean? I don't dismiss the Charlo fight that happened, but first round knockouts can be misleading. I think Lubin is he got caught cold, and that's just one of those things. It's a freaky thing. You know what I mean? I remember K9 Bundrich got caught cold like that versus Saku Pao. And then they fought again and he beat him, you know what I mean, when he fought in the eliminator. So I think Lubin is serious. I mean, obviously, we got the rematch clause and things like that. So we're not going to be fighting Lubin to get to Rosario. Julian, it's not about ahead or behind. It's just that they are different places right now. But that's something that can happen. You know what I mean? Lubin is a serious threat. I respect everybody, Fred. That boy can fight.
Yeah, he can. He can.
I know both of his trainers. Kevin Cunningham is his new trainer, but I was cool with his first trainer, Jason Galarza, I think his name is. Real nice guy. I mean, did a real good job with him. I respect him. Lubin is a serious fighter. Actually, Karan Davis was in camp with Lubin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the boy can fight. You know what I mean? I think him and Julian is a very exciting, high intensity. It's a shooter. Actually, if you look, Al Heyman brought Lubin back the same way he did Julian.
Good point.
And Gallimore. The only difference is Lubin fought him after Julian did, but if you look, he was the same blueprint. So I think Lubin's gonna be champion.
Wow. Okay. All right, we're gonna go 2 more calls and then we're getting Breadman out of here. We got 323. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Fred? Man, stop trying to get people up out of here because it's 11 o'clock, man.
Oh no, it's 2 o'clock on his watch.
Yeah, hey, he look like he enjoying the show.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Red. It's all you, big homie.
Yeah, man, Breadman. I want to get a question on you when it relates to structuring of sanctioning bodies. I have deep criticism of the sanctioning bodies, but you being, hands-on with the sport. What are your thoughts about the sanctioning body? I kind of want to put in a 3-part question. What are your thoughts on sanctioning bodies? Thoughts on Mauricio Suleiman and the new introduction of, what is that thing called, franchise champ?
Well, all right. We're going to be fighting for a WBC title pretty soon. So I respect anybody that gives us a title shot. Sanctioning bodies is a thing where, unless you are bigger than the sport, like transcendent, belts do matter. And I'll tell y'all why. For one reason, when you have a belt, it gives you a little bit of control over being able to pick the judges because sanctioning bodies assign the judges. So if you have a belt, then you can say, I don't like that judge. I don't like Fred Hawthorne. I don't like Stephen Edwards or whatever. So it does give you some power. The second thing with a lot of fans and media members don't matter when they keep talking about belts is that this is in contracts. When you win a belt, if you carry a belt, you make triple and 4 times the money. You're talking about the difference of maybe a $500,000 fighter to a $2 million fighter. So, unfortunately, I know you guys don't like belts, but they do matter until you can reach a certain point that very few fighters reach. So, like the only guys that belts wouldn't matter to in boxing right now is like Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, because those are $30 million fighters. But everybody else that's making $2, $3, $4, $5 million, they fighting for those belts for a reason. You know, y'all ask Deontay Wilder how his pay went up. I know that's your man, Fred. How his pay went up after he won the title. It's just a difference. So, you know, the fans criticize the belts, but these guys got to make a living, and you make more money when you have belts, and that's just a fact. And when you lose it, you take a pay cut. So,
final question, Breadman. A final question. When it comes to this pay thing, I was thinking about lion share type fight person, maybe not so much a championship bout, but to just take away the whole A side, B side thing. What are your thoughts on lion share type first fight persons versus a winner may get 60-40, 70-30 or something? And how big of an incentive and a motivating driver do you think that would be? And then that's all that I'm gonna fall out because a lot of people want to get in.
That's interesting. You know, I never really gave it much thought. That's interesting. The thing is, though, a lot of the contracts are predetermined. So, like a contract, they say, if you win this fight, your first title defense, you're going to make $2 million or $3 million. And it doesn't even have an opponent over there. So then if you get, you're not going to share that with a guy that's just coming up fighting for a title. So it has to be a situation where it's feasible and realistic, because a lot of times your purse is going to be predetermined, and you obviously you can't fight a complete, you know, tomato can off the street, but you got a certain realm of opponents, like type of opponents that you could fight where your purse is already going to be determined. So that may be like feasible, like in a tournament type of aspect, or like in a league, like a UFC kind of, I don't know if you can do that in.
Got it. Reg. Oh, he hung up. Okay, we got 516. What's up? Oh, before we go to 516, he had a question about Terrence Crawford trunks in the super chat. He said, do you think his trunks do you think Terrence Crawford wears his trunks too high? And what do you make of Errol Spence right hook versus Terrence Crawford? And your thoughts on the Super 6 at 154?
Actually, I do think he wears his trunks high. I'm surprised nobody's ever complained about that, but it's not my business because I haven't, you know, I'm not in the other guy's corner. But actually, I do. He wears his trunks all the way up to his to over his navel. I don't know why. I'm surprised the other coaches don't say anything. You have to ask one of the coaches that's went up against them. How come they never made a complaint to the commissioner or the referee? I think Errol Spence is top 2 or 3 body punchers in the game. Him, Canelo, and that kid Monster E now. You know, those are the best body punchers in boxing. So I think it would definitely. I know Derek James is a sharp guy. I'm sure he'll say something about those trunks if they fight, because his trunks.
Yeah.
The funny thing about trunks is people think like the navel, like anything below the navel. But I mean, just feel your anatomy. There's a lot of abdomen under the navel, so the navel doesn't that's not next to your groin unless you're an alien. So it's more room to hit a guy in the body. It should be anyway below his navel. So when I see a fighter wear his trunks high, I'm telling them to pull them down. I don't want to hear that. Well, it's the navel is the line, because if you do that, then you get the cushion the body blows, because it's some gotcha. You're not hitting the guy in his groin if you go an inch or 2 below the navel. So I don't know why coaches don't say anything. As far as the Super 6 is concerned, I think we are having one at 154, but it's just not formal. You know, if you look, you know, Julian is for Hurd, he's for Big Charlo. If you was to have a Super 6, you would have Rosario in it, you have Hurd in it, you have Julian in it, you would have Harrison in it, you would have Small Charlo in it, and you would probably have Lubin in it. Well, Julian's fought 3 of the guys already. You know what I mean? So and you might throw Lara in it, and if you do that, you got Jared Hurst fought Harrison, Lara, and JROC. So I think we are having one. It's just not formal.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I really do. I think they having one. I think Al wants to sort it out, and I think he wants to at least. I don't know if he's going to be able to unify the WBO belt, because that's over there with Golden Boy. But I do think that somebody in the PBC will have the Ring magazine title pretty soon.
And before you know, you want the breaking news? I just got a message from PBC.
From me?
Yeah, you want the breaking news? Charlo and Rosario is already done. They fight in August, September. So just so you know.
That's perfect.
So just so you know, 516. What's up? I just literally got it. I just literally got the text. What's up? 516.
What's good? What's good, King?
Oh, this Blue. What's up, Blue? What's up, man?
What's good with you?
Hey, I'm
Brad, what's going on with you, man?
Hey,
This Blue Blood.
I know. What's up? What's up?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, nah. I'm good, man. I want to switch gears real quick, man, because and I don't know if y'all talked about this earlier, but with everything going on today's time, you being a very smart and business-headed black man and everything going on, man. I know that you invest in real estate and land and things of that nature, and that's very, very important for us, today's time, man. So I just wanted to know, what you think about going about teaching people like how you train, but teaching us, man, how to invest in land, and it's time to start building our own. So what you think about that?
Man, you know what? I do it, but I mean, I don't do it like formally with classes, but like me and Fred have bounced ideas off of each other when we've talked. I've helped Julian with some stuff. I just help people with. Everybody goes about the realist. Everybody thinks it's like the certain formula, but everybody has their own way of doing it. You know what I mean? But I don't have a problem with sharing minds. You know what I mean? And telling people how I got my real estate and what I do, and how I do my properties and things like that. I'm actually going through some crap right now, man. I'm trying to get a line of credit. I took Fred's advice, and I want to use the bank's money.
Yeah, I know it.
Being real detailed and specific about my articles of incorporation. Asking me, I mean, I didn't fact so much shit is driving me crazy. But I'll tell you something, man. It's funny, man, because I was doing this property, and it was on a residential block, and I bought a lot, and I built on the property, and I got an abatement, and the house was worth maybe about $400,000, and I was only paying like $500 a year in taxes because I got an abatement. And man, the neighbors hated me. They were like, the gentrification, and you doing this and you doing that, and I'm like, damn, I can't win for losing, And I took the black lady was telling me off, man. She was an older lady, and I was like, Miss, I'll help you get an abatement. I'll show you what building to go to. I'll do it. Like, I don't know, and I'm never ever gonna be disrespectful to nobody. She was an older lady. She was in her 60s or 70s, and she was like, my taxes are gonna go up, and y'all doing this. And Fred, it was a tough position to be in. I didn't know what to say, man, because I'm not trying to tear a neighborhood down. I just simply saw a lot, and I built on it. It had nothing to do with her per se.
Well, it was an eyesore. They had to develop it. That's why they gave you the abatement.
But people don't understand that, Fred. They think that you it's like damn if you do and damn if you don't. They look at you as like messing up their taxes, or you're not for the cause, or you're not woke. And it's just a shame, man, because I said, Miss, I'll give you every resource that I got. You can get your house fixed up the way I did this house and go right down, and I'll show you where to go. And the conversation went on. I kind of like calmed her down, and like I like quelled her aggression towards me. But it's like crazy, man, because some people really like look at you as the enemy, but like that's the only way you can really invest in real estate, unless you're a multi-millionaire mogul where you're building strip malls. That's the only way that I know how to invest in real estate and really be able to have a profit margin. And it's a shame because some of the the people in the inner city, they kind of resent you for that, man. And it's just unfortunate, man, because I caught a lot of hell from her, and I didn't really, I wanted to hug her like, man, I'm not doing this, I didn't, it's not my fault. But I don't think people understand it, man. And I can't save the world, man, and give everybody everything. But I don't have a problem with telling anybody how I did my properties, man. I'm an open book when it comes down to that.
Yeah, I want to link up with you, man. I'm in New York, man, so I want to learn, man. I want to, start in investing, man. I need to learn, man, and I want to pass some knowledge.
He got the game down packed, man. He got the game all over.
Yeah. He all the way in LA, man. You know what I'm saying?
Let me just tell you something, man. Everywhere is different, though. You gotta know your market. You know what I mean? I know the Philly market. I know the Texas. If you tell me an area of the city, I could tell you where the top houses are going for. Everywhere is different. So you know, I gotta preface that if you ask me about New York, I don't know nothing about New York's properties. So you gotta go with the area that you're going to be developing in. You know what I mean? You have to keep that in mind. You have to keep that the context of what you're doing. You have to, like, I know where to go to get the abatements here. I know how to do everything everywhere. You know, it's not the same. You know, Fred probably got the LA market down pat. You know what I mean? So you got to keep that in mind whenever you try to get some advice from somebody, because it might not be the same in LA. It might not be the same in Philly. Properties go different.
All right, man. Yeah, that's all I wanted to ask you, man. I appreciate you.
Yep. You got it.
And we appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Huh?
No, I ain't talking to you, Nick. I'm talking to Breadman.
Shut up.
Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you. All right, boo. All right, what?
All right, kid.
All right, man. And I appreciate you coming on, man. 2 hours and 7 minutes. Well, it took you 15 minutes to get in, but man, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2:07 where you at, man. And I genuinely appreciate you, man.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm gonna get some sleep, man. I don't got no regular job, so I wake up when I got.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. Yeah, you don't have a regular job, man. Thank God you don't. Yeah, man. And I'll explain abatement when you hang up the phone, because people are asking what's an abatement, but I'll explain it.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I should have explained it. Yeah,
I'll explain it when you get off.
You got it. Yeah, you'll tell them what it is.
Yeah, I appreciate you, dog, man. Thanks for coming in tonight, man.
Yep, appreciate you. How do I get off here? I got it.
Yeah, just click exit and I'll exit you out as well.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
All right, one.
All right.
Yeah, man. Breadman, man. I appreciate you coming in, man. That was love, man. Breadman was a great guest, man. We got a lot of information out of him, man. And make sure you guys go to his Instagram and tell him thank you, man. And thank all the guests for coming in, man, because they take cold phone calls. I don't know what the hell y'all niggas about to ask. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody coming in. Appreciate my co-host DB, who's about to call back in. Appreciate. Hey, I just learned that tonight. How funny is that shit? Why did I just pick up on that shit? Triple OG don't come in and ask for questions, because I remember that shit with Jason Whitlock. He don't come in and ask questions. He just come in and ask a statement and wanted to get some shit off his chest. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, man. That was a good guest, man, and we had a good time. And so Charlo and Rosario is done. So you guys know I got that in the middle of the interview. So that shit is done. And I cut the phones off because they kept on going off. Thank you. You're right. And we the king of the 154-pound division. You know what I mean? We the king of the one. We got Cunningham, Breadman. Who y'all want next at 154? Who y'all want next? I got you. Oh man. Yeah, man. Appreciate Blue Blood coming in, man. Appreciate all y'all for keeping us lit. Reggie Owens and Super Coon. Hey, y'all was Hey, Super Coon didn't have a bad call tonight, DB. I saw you in there hating on Super Coon. I got Super Coon's back tonight, dog. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad.
I said if y'all put it like this, I said if y'all would have gave Super Coon one more compliment, that would have meant Reggie Owens was finna vote for Donald Trump.
Nah, I can't.
The world finna turn upside down. Fuck that. I never take the bait.
Yeah, an abatement is when you get a discount. You know what I mean? It's basically when you get a reduction on the property. You know what I mean? And
why you tell me that?
No, an abatement. I forgot to give the definition of what an abatement is. You know,
I never asked for an abatement is. I know what an abatement is.
No, the people in the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm like, damn, that was random as fuck.
Yeah. So it's basically like you go down and get a reduction on like the taxes and stuff like that, and they help you out. You know what I mean? So that's basically what it is. And you go to the office and you get it. And because see what typically happens is similar to like another use of an abatement is, speaking of Minnesota, remember the taxpayers they were arguing with the people over there in Minnesota about the taxpayers paying for the new arena. And that happens in a lot of places, the new football stadium. That's not an abatement, but it's a synonym for it. We're going to use taxpayers' money. And also when you have like in Detroit or maybe in Philadelphia or maybe in South Central after the riots, they say you're not going to pay taxes for 6 years or 6 months if you buy this lot. this undeveloped land, and that's basically what they do. So that's what a synonym for an abatement is. So you guys can see it in real time. So, but if you guys subscribe to my Patreon, y'all will know all that. Go to Barbershop Conversations on Patreon, and you will know all that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what it is. So yeah.
An abatement, right on. So the word of the day. Everybody, abatement.
Abatement, man. That was a good, man. That was a good. Hey, I looked at your phone call. You were on the phone 31 minutes.
Yeah, you know what? So number one, if I was in front of the person, the conversation, like I know how to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Like as a natural salesman, I can sit in front of somebody and I can ask them questions for like 3 hours and have them tell me their entire life. But I also know how to shorten it. But, I'm not the one that's really conducting an interview. I'm just asking questions. And not only that, though, I'm asking questions that these dudes in the chat are looking to ask, too. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they want to ask them in the chat, and the dude probably not reading the chat. So he never going to answer the question. So I'm trying to ask for some of the brothers who don't really got a voice to call in. My face ain't familiar, but my voice is. You know what I'm saying? So I ask the questions to be the voice of the people. Word up. Crap. But
oh man,
yeah, I ain't scared. I mean, I don't care if it's, you can put Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Halle Berry. I don't give a fuck who it is. I ain't scared to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So talking to somebody is like taking a fade. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to have a bad one. But you got to be willing.
Yeah,
got to be willing.
Fact.
Straight up and down. Yeah, man. Barbershop is a great place for us to meet with some of these people, man. We got some good brothers, man, in our, on our
man,
side.
we had a great show the past. How much did we learn the last 48 hours, dog? For real, don't lie, don't bullshit.
The last 48 days.
48 days. Oh, I appreciate that. That's love. Thank you, dog. Yeah, man. That's that's dope. And so Friday is gonna be like an awkward show. I'm gonna go live from a Juneteenth event, and I'm gonna do a lot of interviews there. So as opposed to me going live that night, I think I'm going to do the live at the Juneteenth event, and that way I can get all. Yeah, you going? You be there, right, DB?
Yeah, hell
okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I might be working one of the booths.
Oh yeah, we're gonna hook up and flick up. So that'll be dope. Okay. And so I'll be able to get all the interviews and all that stuff from all the artists and all the people that show up. So that's pretty. So I just want you guys to know that. So I'm gonna be going live at odd times throughout the day as it relates to the Juneteenth event. So that's pretty much what it's gonna be. So that's the that's the new thing coming in. So yeah. So feel free and share the event. Charlo Rosario was done. All right, Charlo Rosario was done. And what else? That's it. So
yeah, I got about 3 or 4 different flyers from the committee. So I'll send them to you. I'll send them to you, and then you can look at whichever one. And I'm probably already got them posted, but if not, you can use one of those flyers and just post it on your IG or something and send it out to some more of the brothers. Yeah, man, it was a good time. Last quick little thing. I know sometimes when since we don't have a time limit no more, since YouTube haven't been tripping on us, the show goes on longer. You know what I'm saying? We'd be on at 11:35 and 11:50, and I like to always try to make sure I get in what I need to by 10:30, because I know these motherfuckers be on the East Coast and they want to go to sleep.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And sometimes I want to get out there and go run, but after it get too late, I'll be lazy and shit. You don't want to move. So and you want to go charge your car.
Hey, and DB hogged all y'all time tonight, dog. I'm just gonna tell y'all niggas real talk. DB hogged up all the fucking time. So make sure y'all rag his ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do something about it. I'll be there on June 19th. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. So I just want y'all to know that it wasn't me. It was yeah. You're right. Time limits. You're right. But I'll be like, I'll be so relaxed and casual because I feel like I know y'all personally. So I just be sitting vibing and you know what I mean. No,
I'm saying for us it's cool, but when the guest is here, shit, you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta let the guests go.
Yeah.
I think we let the guests go when it's like 10:50, and then we do our little wrap up after that.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the guy. He was rolling. He was rolling until you got to the 18th minute. Then the nigga got tired. And then Triple OG. I'm like, Triple G, you making great points. Let the nigga respond to the points, dog. Like, let the nigga respond. Nigga, we didn't, for real. When we got
Triple OG got 2 mouths and 1 ear. Nigga, like, fuck that.
Triple OG, and as funny as that shit is, I've never heard that before. That seemed like it could have, it should have been said a long time ago. Oh man.
Yeah. But that shit was premeditated though.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Play the song, Frank.
Oh shit.
Got him. Got
me, dog. Appreciate you, DV. Got me, dog. Appreciate you, big homie. One. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. Hey, we going to war tomorrow. You know what tomorrow's show is going to be about? Do we need 4 more years of Trump? 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. People Hernandez, Rob, CMB, Jeff, J8, Muir, Cash G, G5, Boxing, Reggie Owens. What up, big homie? We dedicate tomorrow's show to Reggie Owens, man. He came out with that bill today, and I'm very interested in what y'all. Make sure y'all go read the bill, okay? Go read the bill, because I don't want to read that long-ass shit on the show, all right? Go read his Emancipation Proclamation today on police force in America, all right? J8, Muir, Cash G, G5, Lewis Hinton, J.A. Dixon, TB. I thought TB was on call in tonight, man, but he full. That nigga got one hand on the remote, one hand on the cell phone. What up, why not? Tim, Terrence, what's up? Sing this shit. Think you take it personal, cause the devil is a lie. Hey, I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. I see y'all in 22 hours, man. We take the 22-hour commercial break. Why not? Executive order. Good night. Batman, you stayed up. You made it, dog. You made it. You made it. Sometimes you in and out this motherfucker. You just show your face, man, like a fine bitch at a house party. You know what I mean? I'm just stopping here. I'm on my way to the club and hang out get these niggas with these bottles, but I just, came show the little homie some love. What up, G5, J8, man? It's the moment of truth. It was a fun ass show, man. We had a good time tonight, man. We had 2 of the top 10 trainers at 154, and 2 of the top 10. Well, we'll get JROC in. I'll call him for July. Yo, it's my personal statement. Yeah,
bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons, indigenous to the grind. So I do it for all my people, jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition, I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. Or cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals.
Give back, give love, giving something away. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going back soon and fight this final round. Life's a quick and no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Can't take it personal.
Last time, y'all, the devil is a lie. Hey, I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. You know Wilder's coming into the barbershop, nigga. You ain't gotta worry about Wilder. Me and Wilder not on first name basis. We on first ring basis, nigga. As soon as the phone ring, what up, Fred? You ain't gotta worry about that, nigga. We Gucci. You know what I mean? I love y'all, man. Hey, I just want to thank y'all for making the barbershop a safe haven, man, where men can come in fellowship, man. It's definitely feel good, man. The past 10 to 15 days, man, we just been rocking out, talking about favorite songs, boxing, pussy, strippers, food, whatever we talking about. Tupac, you know what I mean? Appreciate y'all for real, man. It feels good, man. And I see y'all niggas tomorrow night. Peace.